The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is holy hell. Every team is in training camp Tuesday, July 26, 2022. This sports show begins now.
Let's ride.
Let's ride into a glorious time to be alive. All 32 NFL teams are arriving at training camp. That means football is right around the corner. I actually woke up this morning. It was a little bit chillier in Indianapolis, Indiana. We had been going through a heat wave like everybody else. 100 degrees, 99 degrees, 98 degrees. Then this morning, the same day that 28 more teams go to training camp, the rest of the NFL has checked in to the NFL season. On that same day, there was a little chill in the air.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, this feels like football weather, and God damn it, it is.
Hell yeah.
We have made it. All the teams are checking in. The season is on the precipice of taking over all of our lives. Congrats to everybody for surviving.
Yeah. Did it?
The offseason.
Made it.
Next week, there's a game, I guess, and then obviously everything after that gets rolling. The NFL is rocking. Now, when training camp comes around, there's only a couple things to think about on day one. You start thinking about all the hard times you just went through with all the terrible sports that you had to act like you were interested in. Mm-hmm. You remember when I was watching baseball there for about 20, 30 minutes?
Wow.
That was fun. Oh, I remember when we were watching NBA playoffs and Boston Celtics team that was just absolute dog shit made a run. And then ultimately, in the end, got dunked on by Nat King. Steph Curry. I remember we were doing that. You remember we were all in on that.
Oh, yeah.
We cared. We genuinely cared.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We just cared in the moment because football wasn't around. Probably a little bit more transparency from me there than basketball fans will want to hear, but that is honest to God truth. We have made it to football season. Then you start thinking to yourself, well, is there any football happening today? Not really.
No.
I mean, there's nothing really that's going to come out. We'll see some pictures of guys in uniforms. How do they look? How do they not look? Did they look like they spent the offseason like I did my first couple off seasons? Or did they spend the offseason like Tom Brady does his entire life of working out and being in the best shape you could possibly be in? Then you start thinking to yourself, oh, nothing's really going to come out from training camp maybe for the next couple of days other than quotes, no real football stuff. And then you think to yourself, oh, what is day one all about? It's about the arrivals.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Who's going to cement their legacy as being one of the greatest arrivals to training camp in NFL history? It has been happening around the NFL for a long time. Guys check into work because that's what it is. In, incredible and metaphorical fashions and beautiful fashions. And, you go back into history, you got Vince Williams of the Pittsburgh Steelers showing up like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
He said, listen, I'm over there carrying the 1 pass on the season. I got this vest on.
What?
I got these boots on.
What?
I got these jorts on.
What?
I'm holding the title because at the end of this goddamn season, we're going to be holding one that looks a lot like a Lombardi.
What?
That was awesome. I got an opportunity to be teammates with a guy who, I think he got handed down to him from Edgerrin James to Reggie Wayne. One time showed up in a construction vehicle with a hard hat on, said it's time to go to work. Another time, Indy car. He arrived in an Indy car, which was, I thought, the only photo we had of Reggie. We had another one. That's awesome. That's good news. That's on me. Reggie in the Indy car was fantastic. A little bit of a drizzle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there was a little bit of a buzz in the air because some people knew how he was going to run. I don't know. Reggie and I obviously did not speak much whenever we were Colts teammates.
Sure.
I think he's a good guy. I've learned a lot about him post then, but during, we had zero relationship. Only teammate in the history of any sport, by the way, that I've ever not had a relationship with. He just wasn't about my shit, I don't think, which, by the way, respect.
Sure.
Neither am I most of the time. But there was quite a buzz about the IndyCar arrival, and there was a little bit of a rain. Then he showed up, and he was like, hey, we need to get off to a hot start or something like that.
Oh, nice.
There's always some sort of awesome message, and anything Reggie did, the entire team followed because he's OG, and he's a Hall of Famer, and he's great at football. But whenever he would do that, it did feel like it was a light switch. Like, all right, now the fun's up. Now it's the season.
Now let's go.
Today somebody showed up, and it is going to go down as one of the greater rivals in the history of the NFL. And I hate that we always seem to be doing this. It does
seem like that,
hate
doesn't
that
it?
it always seems to be us that have to do this, because for a long time, this person was talked about as being the biggest piece of shit walking. And then all of a sudden, some people have had conversations with him and have met him and actually asked him questions about who the fuck he is as a human, say, actually, good guy. Not a bad guy. And also, best football thrower of all time. Currently, the back-to-back MVP, a guy that we get called a lot of things on the internet for talking positively about him after all the years of people just shitting on him without even knowing who he is. So we obviously are a part of the problem here and making him maybe a likable guy, because maybe he is a likable guy as opposed to what everybody was told for a long time. But when this motherfucker shows up like Nick Cage from Con Air, you can't help but just be incredible. Look at this fucking guy.
Wow. Top notch.
Have you ever seen somebody more confident or comfortable walking into fucking training camp as a back-to-back MVP? Oh, maybe that'd be some pressure. Lost your number one guy. You're back-to-back MVP, the weight of the world. You just signed a new deal that Ian Rappaport actually changed the way he covers contracts to report, because that's how big of a fucking deal it was. And then you got a new tattoo.
Yeah.
Ooh, true.
You got a lot of chatter about you. Everything
That's right.
you do causes news. You take a poop, people go, woo, what?
Holy shit.
He shows up as fucking Nick Cage at Connor. What's that guy's name?
Cameron Poe.
Yeah.
Boom. Badass movie. My dad and I watched it in the most piece of shit theater in Erie, Pennsylvania, because Tim McAfee, when it came out, I was at a soccer tournament, I think, up there. Tim McAfee had to lay eyes on it early. Might have been like $3 to get in and watch it at the soccer tournament. Fell in love, obviously, with Nicolas Cage that day. But what a story.
What a story.
What is he saying? You think, what old Con Aaron's saying right there? You think, at Ty Schmidt, one of the owners of the Green Bay Packers, what do you think the message is being conveyed? When he put that backpack down, by the way, is that the baggage, of the offseason? Is he putting that down saying, hey, listen, we're not taking anything that would happen this offseason into the regular season? Is that everybody else's opinions and thoughts that he's laying down in the backpack in front of the Range Rover? Or did he just maybe say, I got to finish the shot, don't need the bag? I mean, nonetheless, why do you think this was the choice? And how awesome is that that's your fucking quarterback?
Yeah, pretty fucking awesome. And like you said, too, I mean, he's yoked. I feel like a lot of times we talk about, you see pictures in the offseason. It's like, oh, Jesus, what has he been doing? He's on vacation. He looks a little frail. He looks a little skinny. He looks absolutely fucking huge, yoked, ready to go. Probably going to win a third MVP. But,
Look at those traps.
Yeah,
Holy
I
shit.
mean,
For those that are wondering, what they're wearing there is beaters.
that's right. Yeah.
I wear a tank top. Those are beaters.
Exactly.
Two very different, fashion choices and styles, but both do, if you have traps or arms or anything, cover up the bot. Don't need to do many abs, but if you get the arms and the show muscles ready, the tank top or the beater will work for you. Dude looks fucking yoked.
He does.
Insane.
And his legs, by the way, we saw him at the match. His legs are fucking. We saw him over there in Tahoe. When Drama says that one guy walks by about his calves?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you. When he walks by and he says, those are fake. I know those are fake.
Yep.
That's almost what it's like with that fucking guy. I don't know if he just is doing like raises.
Leg raises,
like,
yeah.
All the time.
All the time. But looks and appears to be in great shape.
Yeah.
Appears to be very comfortable and confident.
Yep.
And he just had a rival that people talk about probably forever.
That's right. And I think if you look a little bit deeper, Con Air, the movie, Cameron Poe, Nick Cage has a chance. He can get off Con Air. He can, they land at an airstrip.
Oh, here we go.
He can get off there. He can leave. Okay, he's basically good, but he says, "Hey, I got a buddy on the plane. All right, I can't just let a man go. I got to save him." A lot of people saying, "Hey, he's going to retire. Devontae's gone." He's still got a lot of good friends in that locker room. He's got unfinished business. He's not just going to walk off into the sunset, retire. He's proven a lot.
Freedom could walk towards.
He could walk towards freedom. He can
Who's
do whatever
Cyrus
he
the
wanted.
Virus?
Well,
Atone Diggs asking hard questions.
Cyrus the Virus, I mean, I guess you got to say it could be the Rams. It could be the
Niners.
Buccaneers. It could be the Niners. Definitely could be the Niners. But yeah, he has unfinished business. He's got to walk back on that plane, and he's got to get to the Vegas Strip, which this year, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Here we go. Wow.
I texted him and let him know that I thought it was one of the most hysterical arrivals I've ever seen.
That was awesome.
Pretty solid, yes, was the response.
Nice.
So I think he feels good about it too.
He should.
When he started growing that hair, it was for Halloween,
Yeah,
right?
John Wick.
Did John Wick Obviously, everybody talked about it not because of how much he did look like John Wick.
No.
There's some other.
The Halloween party itself. Right. Yeah.
Close contact.
Causing problems.
So then he just kept growing. It was like, oh, there's probably another reason. And then as he started thinking about training camp, he was like, I knew I kept this for a reason.
Yes.
This is perfect. Fucking Connor walking in training camp. Think about the boys seeing him walk in.
Juiced up.
Everybody
Thank God.
head back, laughing so hard. Boys, how we doing? New tattoo. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, check
Let's
it
get
out.
into this whole thing. That's training camp arrivals are, I think, the final step before all right, here we go. Now we're going to get some shit. We did get some shit. Bill Belichick was speaking at training camp. And Boston Connor, I know you're all jacked up about this. It sounds like he and Mac know each other very well.
As if they've been hanging out every single day since the season ended, working on concepts, maybe, deciphering defenses, not just New England's, but also what every other team in the division, in the league, in the conference do. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about what Bill Belichick was saying today about Mac Jones.
We have a video of Bill Belichick chit-chatting about Mac Jones, and it sounds like how Bill Belichick normally speaks about the opponent, right?
Yes.
So there was always a time, it feels like each week, when the Patriots are playing somebody and Bill cuts a promo for a player on another team.
Bingo.
But in doing so, he's also letting that person know, hey, you ain't doing shit this week.
Nope.
He's actually letting everybody know, hey, this person I have immense respect for. And everybody around the NFL knows if that's how Bill feels, the coverage is going to shape exactly how this is going to go. And he always talks about, he'll get into long snappers every once in a while. He'll get into punting and special teams.
Yep.
He'll talk about individual players, former players of the Patriots. He'll cut a promo during the week of the game that is, I think players that hear it are fucking very pumped that they potentially, that they just got a promo from Bill. He did this about a guy on his team.
Interesting.
His quarterback. And I think that is why eyebrows have been raised all around the Revolution region. Here's Bill Belichick from training camp via NBC Sports Boston talking about Mac Jones.
As you install a, quote, streamlined offense, how much input does Mac Jones have on what this new offense will look like as you build it and rep it around him?
Yeah, well, certainly he'll have input. I think Mac's done a great job. He's worked extremely hard. He's got a tremendous work ethic and in all areas. I think there's a dramatic improvement. His physical work and conditioning, working on his mechanics, working on his footwork, working on his understanding of our offense, of opponent defenses, of situations, all those things. He did a great job last year, but he's starting from a much, much higher point this year than where he started last year. So, his off-season work has been significant, and I think everyone recognizes, how well he prepares, and how much further along he was than he was a year ago.
That's a fucking hell of a promo, right?
Yeah, unbelievable.
That sounds exactly like how he speaks about people on other teams.
Yeah,
not on
heard.
his. And it sounded like at the beginning he was almost going to say nothing. He was like, "Yeah, Mac has input," and then it was almost like, his heart grew 3 sizes that day.
A little bit.
In the middle of it, he was like, "Actually, Mac does deserve that."
Yeah.
Mac, I think people should know that this guy who ran a 4.6 with a very comfortable workout routine, it seemed like, which a lot of quarterbacks have, by the way, has lost weight. Maybe he's fucking running 4.5.
Very possible.
But him understanding the concepts and being at a much higher level, which everybody talked about his brain being a big one coming into the NFL. Bill fucking Belichick also said, who's calling plays? He said, I'm the head coach. I'm in charge of everything, and didn't say anything else. Fuck it. This is what you've been saying since Dan Orlovsky said he was very worried about Mac Jones having a different person in his ear, especially not being Josh McDaniels. What's your number one worry going into the season? Dan Orlovsky was asked. My number one, and we love Dan.
Of course.
Everybody knows we love Dan.
A lot of respect.
Dan lets that mouth say some ridiculous shit every once in a while, though, that he actually believes. So we have to do that. The thing, and that morning when he was asked, the thing he was most worried about was Mac Jones with a new person in his ear because McDaniels left.
Yep.
And all you and basically all Patriots fans said, is Bill Belichick still there? I don't give a fuck, basically.
Yes.
Now it sounds like, Were Bill and Mac just like this all offseason? What does that mean for everybody else? And what does this mean for the offense that's taking place in New England with a former special teams coach and a fired head coach from the Giants now working with the offense and everything else? And Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, working with the offense, and Bill, who's a defensive guy, working with the offense. What does this mean, you think? And are you pumped about it all?
Oh, I'm very pumped. I placed a pretty large wager on Mac Jones win MVP this morning just because after watching that, yeah. And I think when you look at like what Bill has said and us not having a fullback anymore, us drafting an offensive lineman and then a wide receiver with our first 2 picks, like the team is just going to be in Mac's hands. We're not going to be like what did we run the ball 60 times during one game last year?
His wins were terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the win was terrible, but it seems like either way we're going to put the ball in Mac's hands, see what he can do. I'm juiced about it. I think Bill's saying, obviously I'm the head coach, so I'll just leave it at that. He's not worried about it, so why would I be? And then I always go back to what Brady said in Man in the Arena about how like he'll hear that a guy's really good, but who's going to show him how to be great? And he had Bill Belichick show him how to be great, and it sounds like Bill's kind of already started that process with Mac Jones, kind of showing him, what he needs to do to become like a top guy.
Mac never left town, right?
Never left town, yeah.
No bowl?
No bowl, never left town. He was
Really?
working with the training staff the entire offseason. I think
He's probably in with Bill in that because we have so much of Do Your Job film on Bill Belichick's office where Tom comes in and sits down. They do that whole thing. That was Mac's offseason.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I think that's why Bill said that because I honestly don't remember the last time, not even during training camp, but that he even just said or had glowing reviews for someone on the Patriots ever. So I think that kind of also plays into the part that
he talked up Cam. Remember, he talked up Cam, said nobody leads like Cam leads, and everybody thought that.
During the season, though, I don't think there's ever been a time.
I thought it was at the beginning of the season.
Talked up Cam. He's talking up Mac.
What?
Sounds like he's trying to make his ex-wife a little jealous.
Tony!
Feels like Tom's still renting space in Bill's head, and he's just trying to justify what he did to Tom.
No, so he's saying Mac seems to be smarter than any previous quarterback I ever worked with. Mac seems to have a much higher football work ethic than anybody I've ever worked with before. You think Tom's listening to that press conference and you go, that motherfucker? You think that's what Tom's...
I'm sure word's going to make its way back. Hey, did Bill ever compliment you, ever?
Hey, did you ever have any input in the offense? Second year of Mac Jones.
Yeah, no big deal.
Second year is getting input in the offense. Publicly, by the way. Publicly. Yeah, Mac will have input, which is awesome to think about because you should if you're the quarterback. But putting that on a second-year guy means the amount of trust you have in his respect, his leadership, the respect that people have for him in the locker room, how much you think he can handle, what do you think you can do. Them reshaping that entire roster, basically, and going in with Mac Jones and changing how they do things.
Yeah.
You're excited, huh?
Oh, I'm very juiced.
Buffalo Bills still right down the road.
That's right.
Right down the road.
Aren't they? The Buffalo Bills are right down the road.
Super Bowl favorites, MVP favorites. And, I mean, the other thing, too, is everyone's talking about the Dolphins. It's not as if the Dolphins didn't have a bad offseason. They've made so many goddamn moves that the Patriots have kind of fallen off a little bit, especially with McDaniels leaving. So we'll see what happens.
What was that name Bill used to use for Tom? He'd say, Johnny Foxborough can make that throw.
Johnny fucking
make that play.
Johnny Foxborough, not Tommy Foxborough. Every time I brought that up, I had some fucking masshole prick. It's Johnny Foxborough. I'm like, all right, dude, the same thing. You get it.
Yeah.
You understand what he was saying. He was saying that anybody could do what you just did that lives around. We had Eagle Creek All-Americans that would show up at practice.
Okay.
It was like Friday All-Pros. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Those types of the people that try super hard in practice that, although they are talented in football when compared to other people that play pickup football, when it comes to NFL guys and you're, a guy that's on a practice squad, but it's week 16, week 15, and you're going harder than everybody else. There's a lot of, Johnny fucking Foxborough here.
Yeah.
Even this guy, like there's a lot of that thrown around there, which I believe, if that was being said about Tom Brady, I can see how Tom and the family potentially
take offense.
A little bit upset about it. Joining us now is a man who knows the ins and outs of fucking everything. This guy was on the 0-16 Cleveland Brown team. Then he went on to win a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. He's been on a bunch of different franchises, but he will be forever remembered as not only a champion and a great football player, but now a host of an Emmy Award-winning morning show on NFL Network. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the new hosts of Good Morning Football, Jason McCourty.
Yeah!
What's up, man?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yes. What's happening, guys? How you doing?
Hey, that's on our end, we assume. Great intro there. I don't know if you heard any of it. You deserve all of the applause and the praise. Congratulations on getting the Good Morning Football gig, Jason. Okay.
You guys are breaking up a little bit.
I'd say
Right.
Yeah, it's probably us. We didn't win an
No.
we did not win an ME there. The conversation was going to go good, though.
Yeah, it was.
How about this? We're getting to a break, and then
Okay.
Smart.
we always just take blame for it, too, by the way.
I think you got to go to the bathroom.
It's just a polite thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a play thing to do.
You know?
Because at those larger networks, John is blaming Jane,
Exactly.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
and Jane's blaming
Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Bill is sending that thing right down the hallway to fucking Lisa. And then Lisa's like, whoa, I talked to Jack, who works for another company. Then Jack gets it a little bit. And then it's somehow working its way back to us anyways. The person that did our internet was actually the same person that did their internet.
Right.
So ipso facto,
Glitch.
actually our fault.
What are you gonna do?
That is normally how it ends up with most of these places. But I would assume that technology is going to be technology forever, and there's just glitches and shit. We'll be back with Jason McCourty on the other side. Can't wait to chat with him on his new exciting job.
Hell yeah.
And his role with Good Morning Football. Plus being a champion. What makes a champion? How do you feel about Bill Belichick talking about Mac Jones and more? Jason McCourty in 4 cheers. You know what my life consisted of yesterday after that game ended?
What's that?
Bunch of fucking clown emojis with mustaches burying me.
Oh, no.
I mean, burying. There's a bunch of, it was nonstop, same emoji. Sorry, last one. Maybe, says Penny's thoughts. Just abs, fire, Balky. There's another one. I'm here for this douche's meltdowns. A clown. Teal Tomahawk. And then Dahn, back and put respect on Jag's name when you talk about, because they're Colts kryptonite since the top 3 quarterback retired. AKA, man, y'all motherfuckers got the first pick in the draft again. Ain't nobody putting respect on you. You're not putting respect on your teams. Have you got a clown as your fucking emoji? But this is what I actually kiss our teal asses. Good morning, Pat Mac Show. Just a reminder, the Colts will not be in the playoffs. Matt Hole!
Come on, Matt.
This team has not been in the playoffs.
Come on.
And he is just right in sending this to me. This clown is right. Because what happened yesterday, after that game yesterday, and then it's not just.
Oh, my God.
By the way, it's not just clowns on the internet or on Clown Town Duval County.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
this whole thing has kind of crept into our group text messages.
Absolutely.
So our group text messages this morning, as we're getting ready for the show, lots happening. A lot of coaches were fired. Flores, he won 8 of the last 9 games. See you later. Nagy, Zimmer, Fangio. I'm talking, there's a lot of big time news happening around the NFL that maybe we could talk about instead of the Colts thing, but no. Even in the group text, they just sent this over like 20 minutes ago. A perfect QBR, 100.
Okay.
Average QBR, 50.
Makes sense.
So it's not like grades. Average would be 70s,
Right.
70s or whatever. In the NFL quarterback QBR, 50 is the average. In a play-in game, okay, which I didn't know it was. I assume they did.
Yeah, I would guess they did.
Maybe.
And last week, by the way, against the Raiders was as well, I guess.
Right.
I mean, and how's your family? What a fucking win. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Because Staley's ended up on the side of a stat that isn't that great, but it'll be ignored because the greater stats say something different. Whatever. Stat that. That was actual. They're not like your bullshit.
Well, I still think mine are.
In a playing game against the worst team in football, number 1 pick again.
Yep.
Carson Wentz posted a QBR of 4.4. What are we doing?
Yikes.
Is that a real number?
I don't know where the 4.4 came from, to be honest, after watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there was a completion or 2 out there, but what the fuck happened?
No doubt about it. Tremendous athlete. Played a Super Bowl.
Pat has had his moments in this match, without question. Can Pat McAfee find a way to do the impossible to finish the job here?
And McAfee's ready. Theory ready to the announce table. Theory bouncing off the announce table, and McAfee's fired up.
Almost hit Mr. McMahon.
And Mr. McMahon is extremely upset as McAfee makes his way down to the ring. McAfee kicking the hell out of Austin Theory.
Familiar territory for Pat McAfee here at the announce desk.
What's up, partner?
Pat McAfee's beating the hell out of Austin Theory. Tim and Sally McAfee watching their kid beat the hell out of a douchebag. Oh, my. You remember this?
A little payback from Friday night. Get him, Pat.
Multitasking. This is impressive.
I don't think this has been done before. Calling commentary your own match at WrestleMania?
It's being done now, Michael.
I didn't even do that.
Not that good, apparently.
Get your ass.
Welcome back to the show. It is all teams in the NFL are currently checked into the NFL season. Tuesday, July 26, 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Joining us once again, which I am incredibly happy about, man who's been a Super Bowl champion and has seen the lows of the NFL in winning and losing, more specifically with the Browns at one point.
Can't hold him tough.
It's not his fault because that motherfucker's a champion. Not only is he a champion and will be forever remembered that way, now he'll be known as a man who is a host of an Emmy award-winning show. Ladies and gentlemen, new host of Good Morning Football, Jason McCourty.
Yeah! Appreciate it.
Yes, Yes, this sounds good. Hey, you look good. You sound good.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
I love that West Virginia jersey in the background. The one college team I was never able to beat. So I love that you're displaying it, and I'm kind of reminded of those college days.
If it means anything, that's the only. It's never here. I just put it up because of that. You know what I mean? I just put it up. You know, this trophy too. I don't know if you ever won one of those. I won one. No, I'm joking. You've accomplished so much. I'm appreciative of the fact that you recognize West Virginia's greatness because more people need to do so. Let's win some fucking games, West Virginia, though. All right. Anyways, let's move along here. Whenever you got the gig for Good Morning Football, you had to be pumped. This is a huge show watched by so many people. You immediately out of retirement right in there. Did you know you were going to get into TV? Did you know that role was going to be there for you? And how have you enjoyed your first couple of days?
Man, the first 2 days have been great, man. This was just a great way for me to kind of transition out of the league. But when the season ended last year, I was going through a Liz Frank injury. I had surgery in November, so wasn't sure I was really going to play. Went out to L.A. and did the NFL broadcast boot camp, and opportunities started popping up from that. And honestly, I didn't think that Good Morning Football would be an opportunity that'd be interested in me. But when it came, I was able to go out there and do an audition at the end of June, and we were able to work out a deal. And I'm fired up to be there, learning from Peter and Kyle and me and Jamie, the rookies on the show. So it's been a blast so far.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of great energy, a lot of like, hey, let's get to know these people that are now new host type of segments. Do you walk in there every morning with like 45, 60 different segments to pitch every single day, or how's that all work?
No, you got to start with the slow burn. You know, I'm still the rookie. Those guys, Kyle and Peter, come in, their clothes are already picked out for them. They're placed on their chair. Yes. For me, I'm walking in with a bag, holding my sneakers, bringing my own stuff into work to put on. So there's levels to this thing. So I'm with the slow burn. I'm the rookie in the game.
You're going to do a great job. I can't wait to continue to see what your show grows into. I talked about it there. You were a part of that Browns team that won 0 games. Then you go on to become a champion. You've played in a couple different franchises. You've gotten to see why teams work, why teams don't work. What do you think is the biggest separator between like the shit organizations and the ones that go? You think what is through your experiences, your NFL time, what do you think is the separator? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that as soon as training camp starts here, every fan base thinks their team has a chance, but every human that has like a pretty good visual on how all the teams operate, like there's probably like 12 teams that can maybe go and get there. What do you think is the separator there, Jason?
Without a doubt, as simple as it sounds, is having people moving in the right direction. I think when it comes to the NFL and professional football, there's always a ton, probably a lot of times too much, of ego going around the room. So I think the one thing I learned being in New England, you don't have to always have the best player out of position, the best coach out of position, but if everybody within the organization is moving to the same beat and to the same sound, it actually gives you a legit chance. Like you just mentioned, when we were 0-16 in Cleveland, we have players. I mean, I won a Super Bowl after that. Emmanuel Ogbah went to Kansas City. He won a championship. Duke Johnson was in Houston, a starting running back on the Texans team who was in the playoffs. So there was a lot of talent in that room and in that locker room that went on to continue to play in the National Football League. But everybody wasn't always on the same page, and I think that was evident. And I spent 8 years in Tennessee. We never made it to the playoffs. There's always so many other factors that take away from a team's ability to go out there on Sunday and win games. So something as simple as just people being on the same page and not worrying about ego, who's getting the credit or whose idea it is, goes a long way in winning a football game on Sunday.
It's already hard enough to win, especially with the injury rate of being like 100% and if it's a key guy. But if then you got people going in different directions, you got no shot. I'm intrigued to see like the turnover of franchises when it just continues to lose. New head coach, new GM, lose. It's like, is the building cursed? How does that whole thing operate? Or do some places get lucky? Like, for instance, New England getting Bill Belichick. He retired he quit the Jets job after getting fired from Cleveland, I think? No.
I think he did.
He started in Cleveland. Yep.
Fired from Cleveland, quits the Jets job on a napkin, goes to New England, obviously builds into what it becomes. He's been known as just being this hard ass, right? Accountable, very accountable, militant almost type because he grew up in the Navy, and it's the Patriot way. The Patriot way is we're going to be smarter than everybody. We're going to know everything. He was never really super nice to his players publicly. He just came out and cut a promo for Mac Jones yesterday at training camp about how much tougher he is. He seems to be in better shape. He didn't leave. He knows the game inside out, what defenses are going to do more. Have you seen him evolve, you think? And is this a necessary thing with the modern locker room for Bill Belichick to do so?
It's funny you say that because for me as a guy, like I got there and he wasn't a militant guy. He wasn't super angry all the time. But that's the funny thing is you'd always get former guys coming back. And one thing they will always say is, man, Bill is a lot nicer now than he was back in the day. And I think that's just evolving with players. Even, Pat, you can know when we first came in the league and the way players are dealt with now compared to us, it's totally different. I mean, Kyler Murray just got a clause in his contract forcing him to watch film. Like, it's not the same age of player. So I definitely think he has evolved over time, and he's trying to do and say the necessary things to create a team that can go out there and win and compete.
And they do, it seems like. And everybody in New England that's a Patriot fan, for good reason, whatever he says, they're like, all right, he'll figure it out. Bill Belichick will figure it out. Honestly, greatest GM in history, greatest head coach in history, same fucking guy. I don't know if anybody will ever be able to do that again. Let's talk about that clause that you just chit-chatted about. It took over the internet yesterday, and we don't know who leaked this information. We don't know who thought this was a good thing to leak. The team wouldn't want to leak this because the team just gave $160 million to a guy that they had to put in a contract clause that says, hey, you'll do a pretty basic part of your job as being an NFL quarterback. There's no way the player wanted that out or the agent wanted that out because it automatically leads to like a guy isn't even watching film by himself. Whenever you hear these countless stories about the amount of time that quarterbacks have taken in film study and preparation and everything like that. What was your initial thought of this? I thought it was fake. And then my follow-up was nobody would want this information out there, how to get out there. That was my first inkling from the entire thing, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. It creates a huge distraction. Now, Kyler Murray, as the start of training camp rolls around here, he has to answer questions about it. But not only him, all of his teammates now have to answer questions about his film watching habits. Did you know? How do you feel about it moving forward? What's the message from the organization? My thing on it, too, is that for other players, you're going to look at a guy and we play with a ton of guys. Some guys feel as though they have to watch hours and hours of film. Some guys feel like they have to work out 7 days a week to be able to play in the NFL. Some guys feel like, I can roll out of bed and I've been blessed with that much talent that I can just go play. Hell, give Kyler Murray some credit because for 3 seasons, he's played well and he's earned a $230 million contract without watching a ton of film.
Without knowing what the fuck's going on.
The guy is immensely talented, and the Cardinals know he's not watching film, and they still gave him this money. So I think guys in the locker room, their opinion isn't going to change. If he wasn't watching film, guys know that. They weren't probably surprised by this. I think the thing they have to figure out now, if I'm a veteran on that team, hell, if you don't want to watch film and it's gotten you paid, who am I to tell you to watch film? But we need to figure out how to finish these seasons better. So as it gets down to the nitty gritty, I may have to pull you in the film session myself and say, hey, let's go over this. Let's go over that. They have some veterans on that offensive line that can kind of help push it in a direction. But I mean, man, if you told me I can make that type of money and I can go home and not worry about putting on some film, I'd sign up for it.
Yeah, I think so. The last 3 years, they're 2-4 down the stretch, 2-3, 2-3 down the stretch, and it's like, well, there's also, I believe, a Call of Duty game that drops.
Oh, yeah.
Call of Duty game that drops that the internet has pointed out the date in which that game drops and then his performance immediately following. So it's like maybe he's caught up sniping or whatever. Sure. But towards the end of the season, everybody else gets smarter. The defense coordinators get smarter. Yeah, you would hope your team gets smarter. It's your best football. Hey, we're trying to play our best football late, trying to be the smartest football team we can be late. And seems like just going out there, I'll figure it out. And whenever push comes to shove in a massive game, you never be able to win like that. Like that is just at the quarterback position, you have to have, I think, somebody that is prepared for everything if you want to win a Super Bowl. I think you can win games. Obviously they have. But I think this clause will hopefully make Kyler a fucking guy. Yeah. You know, like this might force Kyler to become a guy, and I'm excited. I think everybody will be pumped to see it, Jason.
Without a doubt. And I saw Michael Vick said, looking back on his career, he said he used to get those little DVDs and just throw them in the back of the car. And he said, hey, if I would have watched more film and kind of prepared a little bit more, I think I would have got a chance to win a Super Bowl. And maybe that was the Cardinals' kind of ploy. If this thing becomes public, maybe it puts more pressure on Kyler. Because, hey, when things go good this season, everybody in the media is going to be saying, hey, Kyler must have went above that 4-hour quota this week. When things don't go well, it's going to be like, hey, he probably just had the iPad running while he was watching TV, the newest show coming out, or he was playing a little bit Call of Duty. So it's going to be an ongoing saga all season.
So I can't wait for the odds. The week after the Call of whatever game is the week after a Call of Duty drop, just the odds on the Cardinals winning. Plus 10,000 Cardinals to win here. Kyler's spent the last 70 hours clocked in. Yeah, here's the tweet. And obviously this is not a reputable source. We have no idea who this person is. They just made this graphic. And 2019, 2020, and 2021 is when the annual Call of Duty games released. The performance just goes straight down. Oh, no. Look, he's just getting better. But that also might come up with, the end of the season, people get hurt. You never know. Coincidences. Right. Coincidences.
Exactly.
Well said.
Thank you. Tony, your question for Jason?
Jason, Tyreek Hill's made a bunch of news, I should say, saying that he went to Miami because Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. You were there last year. Do you agree with that? What are your thoughts on Tua, and what does he have to do to get over the hump?
Yeah, man, I'm a big Tua fan. I mean, obviously, if I was getting paid as much money as Tyreek Hill is by an organization, I would be saying Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL too. I'm not gonna crown him that just yet, but at the same time, I think it's a great situation in Miami going on right now. I think for Tua's career, since he got to Miami, it's always been about another guy. When he first got there, it was him, it was Fitzpatrick. Who's the quarterback to lead them? Tua ends up getting the helm passed to him later on in the season, but a lot of people were wondering, hey, could we have done better with Fitzpatrick? Then you fast forward to last year, and it's just like, all right, it's Tua's team, Fitzpatrick's gone, and then all you hear about the rumblings are, hey, Deshaun Watson, hey, ownership wants him, trade deadline comes around, hey, Miami's back in play, are they going to trade for Deshaun Watson? So I think it's some positive vibes going on around that building in South Florida, where Tyreek Hill is pubbing Tua, everybody's talking good, and I think it's helping him possibly move in the right direction. There's not as much negativity going on right now down there in South Florida.
It has to help, right? Just a little optimism, a little confidence boost has to help everybody.
For sure. I mean, it's probably gotten to the point where Tua may be like, all right, man, I'm tired. We got it, like let's let it simmer now. Let's not go overboard. But hey, it's like you're in that new girlfriend phase where it's just infatuation. Everybody's loving on each other. It's compliments through their ass. And it's just a good feeling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the people in Boston are saying about Bill and Mac. They're trying to shove us in time. Yeah, your question for Jason McCourty, Boston, Connor?
Yeah, Jason, I don't think it was like this the entire time, but I believe in the last 2 years in New England, there was no DC. Is it weird being on a team where there aren't, distinguished coordinators? And also, while you were there, although Josh McDaniels was there, was Bill Belichick involved in the offense whatsoever?
Yeah, I think It's not really confusing as long as you know who's standing in front of you in the meeting room and who's the one communicating with you. I think it can become confusing where it's just like, hey, if there's one day one guy's talking to you, the next day another guy's talking to you, or if there's a question about scheme, hey, if a team does X, Y, and Z, what's our response going to be? A guy has to know who he's taking that question to. I think as far as titles go, I mean, now that I'm a member of the media, I guess it gives us something to talk about.
Hey, you were like the media. You know that.
Emmy Award.
Yeah. Emmy winner. Like, that's like, you are media now.
Well, I mean, I didn't win the Emmy. They won it before I got there.
You got hired after they won it, though. They said, what's the standard?
For
Boom,
sure.
fucking Jason McCourty.
The pressure's on to try to win another one. See, then we won another one. Then I may just retire from the media and say, like, hey, I'm a Super Bowl champ and an Emmy Award-winning TV personality. So we'll see what happens. But for those guys, I think it's more about just continue to move forward and knowing what's going on. And then with Josh, from my standpoint, I don't know what goes on in the coaches' meetings and everything, but Josh ran the offense. And I think Bill's always been more of a defensive coach. But Bill's a guy that can coach all three of them. He's up in the meeting rooms. And sometimes we'd be in there for an hour in a team meeting. And Bill would coach the special teams, the defense, and the offense, calling people out. One of the most impressive things I've seen, because I never had – you know, most of those team meetings with the head coach are 10 minutes. You hit the schedule, you hit the thought process for the day, and then you break into your meetings. Bill will go phase by phase and will go in. But I'm a big fan of Josh McDaniels. His ability to find the mismatches and exploit it and get his playmakers the ball in their hands has been impressive throughout his entire career.
Hey, he's the GM, the lead counsel, and now the head coach of all of them. How does he have time? You think he's like, you think he's one of those time travelers able to slow down time? You think he's able to do, how does he have enough time to do all these jobs that literally nobody else in the history of the business has been able to do at a high level, and probably nobody will ever be able to do again? It's very time consuming, all this shit, isn't it?
Yeah, man, he's a special dude. I think it was documented on one of the Football Lives or something. He'd be on the treadmill getting his morning workout in. And back in the day before we had iPads and all of these things to watch film, it was just pictures. And they said he'd have a huge binder and he would just flip through the pictures. And as you're flipping through the pictures, the play kind of goes out. It's all the X's and O's and the arrows and all of that. So what it is, it's time management. It's finding ways to multitask. So Bill would be able to go in there, hit the treadmill, be able to get a great workout in, a good sweat, but at the same time, he's studying the game. So I think over the years, he's found that unique balance of being able to multitask and always, there you go. He doesn't spend much time on
sleeping and doing a press conference.
Yeah, no big deal.
How about that?
No big deal.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Let me catch a nap and do a press conference same damn time. And I'm going to run this back next week and the week after. He is an absolute dog. I mean, he's going to go down into folklore history. I don't know how he finds time to get out on that boat or feed Nike treats.
No kidding. Well, Nike feeds himself now. Bill taught him how to, pour his own bowl.
Just like Mac Jones calls his own plays now.
Exactly. Same exact premise.
Same type of situation. Go ahead, Ty.
Jason, is there any part of you that feels like you didn't even get to enjoy your retirement because you have to wake up at 3 a.m. to commute to New York? Or is it one of those things where you see these guys reporting for camp and they're living in dorms and it's like what I'm doing now is a hell of a lot easier than what I would be doing?
Definitely the latter. So for me, I only played 7 games last year, so I've been chilling the entire season, going to the games, sitting up in one of the suites, watching the guys play, hanging out, forcing and bossing my kids to do things for me. So now it's nice. I think my wife was just like, you've been in the house too much. Like, let's go out. The early morning wake-ups are tough, but I was working out with my brother over this past month leading up to camp, and it was a very nice feeling knowing he was getting ready to report, run the conditioning test, and doing all those fun things. And I'm just waking up, going to work for 4 hours, and then coming home and being able to jump on a FaceTime with you guys.
Well, we're lucky you did as such. We can't wait to watch you continue to grow on Good Morning Football. Enjoy retirement. Good luck on the next Emmy, right?
Yeah.
For that show. And we appreciate your time immensely, Jason.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Good luck out there, ladies and gentlemen. Jason McCourty. He's going to win Emmy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I was watching some segments today.
Yeah, show hasn't, even skipped a beat.
Show's all the way back.
Yeah.
They're on the street doing skits.
They were.
Yeah.
With Eric Stone Street.
Eric Stone Street. They're cutting promos.
You know what I noticed?
They're out there and doing it. What?
Jamie's down on the street. Come on.
So?
What the hell are you
What do
talking
mean?
about?
Yeah, of course
Not
she's
sure
on the
I
street.
ever saw. Not sure I ever saw Kay down on the street.
Oh my God, he's right.
Yeah, but this is a get to know the person
Yeah.
skit.
Just
like
saying.
they're trying to introduce.
Well-
that's why they're actually doing these things is to introduce Jamie.
Right.
He was already on the show.
The
What are we
Get to
even
Know-
talking about?
The Get to Know You skit was just a panel of them four, actually, by where you guys used to do your show. In the
You don't
No,
know
that was
Did you
Meeting
watch
of the
5 years
Minds.
ago?
Yeah, Meeting of
geez.
the Minds was about learning. This was a trivia relay race contest.
She played softball. If you have someone who play, it's like, hey, let's get Jamie
She
down
said
there.
she
Let's,
always has a hot hand, by the way.
And she had a wet
exactly.
jumper. Yeah.
Wet jumper. Let's showcase. I mean, she hit a fucking moonbeam after spinning.
did.
She did.
She
It's like,
did.
hey, if you got a hot
Shrakes.
bat, showcase it.
Shrakes kind of embarrassed himself.
He did.
Yeah, well,
I
No
was so-
offense, Shrakes. You embarrassed
Shrakes
yourself.
damn near took a header off the curb.
Twice.
He spun around twice, and
Did,
you know.
did you guys do Louisville Chugger?
Oh, yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I assume everybody did. You know, put a whiff ball back.
Yeah.
Right.
Do the whole thing.
Chug, then spin.
Do the whole thing. Spin however many seconds it took to chug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hit the beer can.
Hit the beer can, don't go again. Miss beer can, gotta go again.
Right.
It's tough.
Great time, very difficult.
Yeah, fun game.
But I remember, not me, obviously. I would never do that. I chose not to drink.
Yeah, smart.
Of course, everybody else did.
College athlete.
I remember looking at other exactly committed. I remember watching other people do like 13, 14 spins.
Yeah.
Very boozed up, and then make contact with a beer can while falling.
Yeah.
Shrakes did 3 spins this morning, almost busted his face. What happened?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not a
they
big
played
spin
that?
guy either, though. When I get the
No.
spins, I'm
No.
doing, you know,
Find your ground.
stuff.
Right.
But 3 spins doesn't seem like enough to disorient you.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
not
think
at all.
they were
Unless
playing
Shrakes had, 15 beers on his way into work this morning. Which,
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I remember vividly, and it was pretty sketchy situation that I probably would have been responsible for. But it was the front yard of my house.
Okay.
I wasn't the only one who lived there, but it seemed like
Duplex.
when anything bad happened, it was
They
Pat
came-
McAfee's house.
they came calling.
I mean, I took blame for a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff was good, so I'm happy to be a part of it. Front yard, Louisville Chugger, boom, make contact, tumbled down hill.
Ooh,
Yeah.
not good.
Pretty steep.
no.
Yeah, not good.
With street underneath it, yeah. And it was like, made contact though. So first thought is like, oh, hope didn't crack open skull or
Yeah.
break neck. Pretty important person to this city's happiness here. That just had that happen to them. And then once Human got up, it was like, bro, you hit that thing.
That was
Holy
fucking
shit.
laser into the gap.
You hit that. Like, congratulations, dude. I was so happy for him. But I mean, I couldn't even fathom Shrakes. Imagine Shrakes having a Louisville chug.
No, he can't do. Well, I don't know. Does he chug? It could be like a 2-second chug if he's.
It has to be. It won't. It's tough to drink out of those wiffle ball
It is.
bats.
Yeah,
It's a tiny
you
little
need
thing.
the hole.
But also, yeah, you definitely need the gas can open at the top thing. But if it's more than 3 seconds, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was 3 spins, and it was like Shrakes. Geez, nice shoes.
Nice shoes.
Shrakes had some nice shoes. I saw him scuffing his shoes while he was
Yeah.
doing it. I'm like, oh,
Peter.
take it easy there, Peter. Team's having fun though.
Yeah,
Having fun.
exactly.
They're
Have a great
building their
time.
chemistry. They're building it. Just like all these teams are checking in training camp.
That's
We
right.
talked about it a little bit there with Jason McCourty because of how alarmed he was about how the modern locker room is vastly different than what it used to be. This 4 hour of independent study clause
Yikes.
that the Arizona Cardinals put into Kyler Murray's contract trended all night last night for good reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe everybody's expectations of an NFL quarterback is like what Peyton and Tom and Aaron
Yeah.
and Drew and these guys are at the top of the game who spend just countless hours trying to learn everything they can about the team they're playing and the team that they're playing for in the sport that they play professionally. It's almost like you're just expected to do so from a fan's eyes. Like that just comes with the job. Like, hey, you're a quarterback in the NFL. If you want to be worth a fuck, like you're going to have to watch film. I think a lot of people just assumed that happened.
Without a doubt.
I think people, because they hear these stories of all the great quarterbacks being like, well, film, I had to watch film. It's almost like just synonymous with greatness in the NFL is film study. So much so that when Gronk said on Monday Night Manning or whatever that he didn't watch film, Tom just watched film for him, it became a big backlash because everybody just expects that everybody watches film. It's your fucking job. What do you do all day, every day? You get to play football for a lot of money. It's just kind of synonymous with it. I, too, thought that was the case as well, strictly because when I was in the NFL, I was very fucking lucky to watch a human robot play quarterback in the NFL for the first couple years, 3 years. Peyton Manning is what? him and Tom are just known to be the most prepared guys, the most successful guys, cerebral guys. Like, hey, these guys are going to know the game inside and out. I remember having a conversation with him, and this wasn't, after this Kyler Murray information came out. This was like years ago, but I had to rack my mind for it. I remember talking, because I think I was at his house, and there was like a movie theater off of like his bedroom and like living room. I think I'm pretty sure I might be misremembering this, but I remember asking like, "Oh, this is a pretty interesting spot to have this," and it was like, "Oh yeah, I like to watch film in here." Obviously, he has the full setup for him. It's a full thing. Has his remote, and then he's able to just kind of do it, so he doesn't have to stay at the facility until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. He can go do this shit at home. And then I heard stories from like Clyde Christensen, who's the quarterback coach now for the Buccaneers, was for Peyton Manning for a long time, and Andrew Luck. He's like, the amount of calls I get, like 3 a.m. in the morning, 2:30 a.m., and I better have a fucking answer. I think Clyde even had to move like a computer or something into his bedroom so that when Peyton found something on film and asked him a question about it, and if he had seen it or prepared for it, he could go through it. It's like the amount of hours in preparation and film study just kind of was synonymous with Peyton Manning. And I think these other guys that are up there. So whenever the internet, and I think I remember asking him, like, how much film do you watch? How much film do you, my position, I mean, okay, I can watch Returner a couple of times. Do you like a high ball? He doesn't like a high ball. Guess what we're doing? We're hitting this fucking high. He doesn't like a line drive ball. Okay, guess what we're doing? We're hitting a little bit of a line drive ball. This guy is a nightmare. Try to keep it away from him. Like, that's the whole thing. But I remember like getting into a convo with him, like, how much you watch? And he dove into like, you got to watch every game the other team has played, every snap they've played, every practice clip from your week of practice, every game you guys have played that plays against a similar defense that they're playing, every single third down situation broke up into there, red zone, every first down operation. I think he went through it all, and I think I like prodded him a little bit, and he was like, I don't know, probably 20 hours of film a week.
Jeez.
On his own, that's not me.
And he said he couldn't even put a number. Like, it would be impossible because he's even Saturday into Sunday morning. There's just like, how can I get more information? The more information I have, the better I will be equipped to beat that defense. And then you hear Tom talk about his preparation. He was even on Monday Night Manning last year, and I think he was playing Seattle the next week. And Seattle was either on Monday Night Football, and there was a moment where Tom got lost. I think he forgot he was even on a fucking show because it was past his bedtime anyways, especially for a Monday night. He started like watching the film real quick. The defense had like a sky shot on like the defense, and you see him like almost get like intoxicated with the film real quick, and then he like snaps out of it, and then he's like back into the conversation. I've just always heard that the greats are all film junkies. Can you become a film junkie? I guess is what we're going to find out with this whole thing. But everybody was alarmed and perturbed. And my second thought was, who leaked this?
Yeah.
No, there's nobody that wants this information out there. And Ian Rappaport said, he already does 4 hours independent study. They just want him to commit to it long term. It's like, all right, well, this has never happened in the history of football. This clause to do 4 hours. And if they just wanted to hammer it home, why didn't they put 10 hours?
Yeah.
You know, like what? It's
20.
just, and with the way iPads are, the modern iPads, like, you know exactly how much everybody watches. And to Jason McCourty's point, like, if that's what Kyler's been able to accomplish with not having a fucking clue what's going on and not being able to look for things himself, and maybe he doesn't know how to watch film, so maybe they should get him a guy to sit with him and break down film with him so that he can see it as an advantage as opposed to more work. Maybe he'll get excited to break down a defense that he's about to slaughter on a Sunday as opposed to sniping somebody out of a helicopter on Call of Duty. Maybe this is something that they can do. So this clause, in the end, hopefully will take Kyler to that next level. But fucking alarming, I think, for everybody, including Cardinals fans who are like, wait, you publicly said we want the biggest contract of all time, kind of held the organization hostage. Kind of like publicly said, hey, your team stunk without us. And they had to have known because the iPads tell exactly. And then they're like, all right, hey, here's a meet in the middle. If you can commit more than just what you do here in the day, like every other quarterback that has ever won a Super Bowl, basically, we will do this deal. He committed to it. They committed to it. We'll see how it pans out in 4 years.
Well, and I think to your point, too, though, it's like if you're insanely talented, like he is, like physically gifted, athletically gifted, like you can go 11-6. You can go 10-7. Like you can absolutely do that. But if you're that 4 hours is the bare minimum. It's like, hey, we want you to do the bare minimum of your job.
Hey, it stinks too, by the way.
For sure. But
it stinks. There's only a couple people that have your job, though.
But you look at guys like Peyton and Tom and Aaron who have talked about it. Like you you can absolutely gain stuff from watching film and watching a bunch of film and being prepared. And it's like at a certain point, you probably have to do that when you get late into the playoffs, when those teams know exactly what you're trying to do, and you can't just rely on, I can throw a bomb here or I can fucking pick up the first down with my feet. Like, eventually, you're going to have to kind of outsmart them.
2-4, 2-3, 2-3 down the stretch. Let's see what happens next year.
What does J.J. Watt think of this?
So that's what I'm wondering, like, how many of the teammates heard about this? Jason McCourty talked about what are the ramifications across the locker room? Like, did everybody know that this guy? Because you could easily see how some people would be like, you disrespectful.
Yeah.
I commit my entire life to this. Some of those older guys, like, hey, we came out here because of how good you were. I get 3 hours of PT 3 times a week just so I can do practice in a game. It's no fun. My body hurts like fucking hell. But we're in this together as a team. I thought we were doing this. So I am. That's why I think neither side wanted this information out. I don't think either side wanted this out or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they talk about it too. Like, it just kind of highlights like the immaturity. Like, when you have to put in there, like, he's watching film, he's not watching film and playing video games, or it's like, are you fucking kidding me? This he's making $160 million. He's a quarterback in the NFL. Like, it's crazy.
But he's really fucking good.
He is. Yeah. Absolutely.
Think about him. Just, I'll show up. I'll go through the meetings. All right. What if I don't get it right on the test on Saturday? You're going to start me. I'm a ball. And then if this doesn't work, I'll go play professional baseball and probably fucking get paid there. And then I'm also going to be a professional Call of Duty player, which is another gig that just pays well. Kyler Murray is just maybe the most chill dude of all time.
Yeah.
That just bounces around being great at shit that you're not supposed to be great at. I hope this clause takes him to the fucking to the moon. It'd be incredible. His size, the amount of information that he could potentially gain from his own, like, oh, I've realized that when I have this setup that maybe a coach can't see, how do we get to this point? Well, this guy likes to do this, and then we could do this. How about when this guy's hands, the white of his knuckles or the red of his knuckles, know? Everybody remembers that from Remember the Titans. But there is so much information that you can just continue to store and gain through film study that I've heard about. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't fucking have a clue how to watch film like a quarterback. I would have no idea. So they should probably get somebody to be like, hey, Kyler, these are things you should potentially be looking for. You know what I mean? I'm intrigued to hear his teammates' thoughts on it all.
Was Colt the backup? Is Colt McCoy the backup?
Yeah,
there?
he was.
He's been in the league a long time. He's been a backup for a long time, and he's been a good backup for a long time. I assume if the coaching staff asked or if Kyler asked, he would teach Kyler how to watch film.
I would hope.
Yeah, but how
long?
$100.
It could be defaulted. His contract could be defaulted.
Yeah.
$100-some million gone if he doesn't. It's in. I read the fucking thing. It's the bottom one, default. You could be found in default. And that's like the whole contract could basically go.
Which means it's a serious issue because you wouldn't put that in there if it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, and how long is it going to take for it to like actually register with it? Like, I assume Mahomes was watching film the first couple of years, and he said last year, like, I'm just now figuring out how to like decipher defenses in the game. So like, even if he's watching 4 hours of film a week, like, is he going to get it all of a sudden that like, oh, this is going to transition perfectly in the game?
And if he does 5 hours one week, he do 3 hours the next week.
Does that count?
Is there carryover? Is there discounts?
Rollover minutes.
Yeah. Bye week doesn't have to. It's in there.
Okay.
Monday after the season begins to when the season is over. Like the way it's worded is hilarious. And he always does it.
Yeah.
Not good.
All right.
Doubtful.
Imagine if they put that in there for Joey Burrow's thing. I think Joey's big time film guy from everything I've heard, or Mac Jones in there.
Yeah.
How disrespected would they feel?
I think it'd just be like
Mac Jones would feel so fucking disrespected. Yeah. I think like if you put that in Peyton's or Tom's and be like, hey, by the way, need 4 hours of independent film studies. Like, get the fuck. I'll do however much I want to fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, all right, fine, make it 40.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they say make it 40. I think they say, hey, why don't you fucking watch film for when I ask you a question? Like, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So them saying, like, he already does this, it's like, well, then Kyler should be fucking offended then.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, wild. Because that team is awesome. That team is in one of the nicest cities on planet Earth. That city has an owner that's going all in. They got studs on that team.
Yeah.
They're hosting the Super Bowl next year. I don't like hearing this about Kyler, but hey, Kyler's going to grow. And that's why clauses happen. Let's get out of here. Hour 2 will be on the other side in about 2 minutes or so. AJ Hawk will be joining us. Can't wait for that convo. He can get his thoughts on film study. Also, what's going on with your friend Aaron? Huh? You seen the movie Con Air, AJ? We'll talk to him in 2 minutes.
He's one of my best friends in the world, right? McAfee is off his rocker.
I think McAfee's about to do something nutty, Michael. Pat McAfee.
Listen to this place.
Feeling the energy. Feeling a little crazy. Feeling a little daring.
McAfee, top rope. Theory in trouble. McAfee, oh, he went for the swanton. And Theory moved out of the way. McMahon smiling. McAfee took way too much time. In Theory looking to capitalize.
Inexperienced by Pat McAfee. Cost him right there. Austin Theory looking to take advantage.
In Theory into the cover to put McAfee away. That may end the dream. No, McAfee at 2.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is hour 2 on this. Oh my. Every NFL team is currently in training camp Tuesday, July 26, 2022. We begin again now.
Let's ride.
Let's ride in hour 2 with a man from Ohio that shall be introduced immediately following the Toxic Table gets their praise at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. You guys look good, no bull.
Hey, thank you. You look good, no bull.
No bull on your side. No, there's no bull over here.
No, there's no bull in this room, I don't think.
Oh, in the whole
Pat.
room?
Yeah.
A lot of bull, though. We've gotten some things wrong, but not anymore. You know why? Because the offseason is behind us.
Yeah.
The NFL is right around the corner. I believe there's a game next week. All 32 teams have checked in to try to win a Lombardi at Tone Diggs. Hammer, Dahn, Cowboy. This should be a holiday almost. I feel like we are celebrating this as such, and it should be a holiday for the entire country that's had to wade through sports that we don't really care about, but had to gamble on, had to get through.
I woke up, I didn't have to snooze today. I said, whoa. We're reporting today. I even started a diet today because if the Steelers go to training camp, I'm going to training camp. But not only did you and I and everyone know that this is a big day, but fucking Mother Nature knew it was a big day. You talked about it earlier. Woke up and there was a little fucking football. There was a little chill in the air. It was like nice fucking brisk.
So it's not going to be 110 like the middle of summer today?
No, you can smell it.
It's going to be a little
smell
fall.
football was in the air. Oh,
What?
boy.
It's fucking hot and muggy every day. We may have gotten a little respite this morning. When we leave tonight, it's going to be
Check the
uncomfortable.
5 day. Check the 5 day, my friend.
Nah.
It is.
Bro, we're football weather.
Dude, I hope so.
We are in football weather.
What?
I hope so.
It's like a high 78 this weekend. It's going to be.
Speaking of football weather, a man who brings it everywhere he walks. He gets dropped in the middle of a golf course. People say, look at that fucking football player.
Yeah.
He gets dropped in the middle of Europe. They say, look at that American football stooge football player.
Intimidating.
Then if you dig deeper, you go, that guy's probably from fucking Ohio.
Probably.
He is. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of that state. A man who's a Super Bowl champion, a college football national champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and a COVID survivor. AJ Hawk. AJ, how you doing?
Oh, great. Happy Tuesday. How are you guys?
Hey, happy Tuesday to you. Everybody's in training camp.
Why do you have that trophy in the background the whole time?
What?
The basketball one. Has that always been there?
Larry O'Brien.
I earned it.
Yeah. Baby
All right,
Larry.
fair enough. Okay.
I went to a tournament in the offseason a couple weeks ago, and I earned that thing. You should have seen the jumper got wet. It was super. That was actually the size of the basketball that I was shooting.
TBT?
Just got high. It wasn't
Morning
TBT.
Football.
Best Virginia's going to win that one, though, by the way.
Probably.
Best Virginia's going to win TBT. Nonetheless, it's there just to remind you that And the boys have just accrued a lot of titles in our time. And although yours are fake, ours are real. Let's move into a real conversation. Your training camp begins. How pumped were you to see Aaron show up in a way that he did, huh? Little Con Air tribute, maybe a deeper story about being able to get off the plane into freedom or go back on and save a pal.
That's right.
Is that what he's doing? You know, hey, I could have gone into freedom. I could have been traveling the world, reading books, getting tattoos and hungry, doing all that. But I'm coming back again because I got a lot of family in that plane. I got a lot of family in Green Bay, and I want to go win. And this means, hey, Aaron's confident. He's going to be 3-time MVP, back-to-back, make it a 5-time MVP, I guess. And they're going to win Super Bowl. Is that what you got from his arrival today? Dressed up fantastically?
Well, I don't know what it's representing exactly. I didn't think about his Nicolas Cage's character Cameron Poe had a very high moral standing. He always is trying to help people out and do the right thing. So maybe there's a little more than we think. I mean, the tucked in beater, he looks good. We saw him out in Tahoe with his hair like that. I'm like, man, you are Nick Cage right now. So I think this is going to not only help Aaron's career, I'm hoping this gives Nick Cage a big bump too.
Well, not just Nick Cage getting a bump, and congrats to him. Just like
Good job, Nick.
Scott Stapp got a little bit of a bump.
Sure.
Aaron mentioned, him saving the day. But you mentioned the beater. That is a beater, by the way. This is a tank top. Now it makes sense?
I see the difference, yes.
Okay, cool. I'm happy we could all do that. All right,
let's go.
Here we go.
Tank top is loose.
Boom.
Good.
Yeah, T-top is here for good times, good vibes.
You need to wear the spaghetti strap, though, like the bodybuilders.
Oh, in the back?
Although a tight one, I actually got one of the Rocks from Dick's, and it has a tight little thing. It just comes into the middle, into the back, though, and it kind of pulls. It's not really comfortable as a T-top. But if I was,
Right. Moving iron.
Yeah, if I was out there building a bod, which, speaking of, Aaron's traps look ridiculous. Put that photo back up, Mitt, from his Instagram. You see these traps? What's he been doing? Shrunken new tattoos, pal? He's ready to go, AJ.
Yeah, hadn't he been talking about his big off-season trap workouts? That's going to be what puts him over the top. What, year 20, wherever he is now?
Traps and calves. Aaron Rodgers ready to go. Ready to sling the rock, sling the pigskin. We got to see him throw a couple footballs out at American Century. Seems to be throwing darts.
Tight spot.
Look for one of those net videos to drop very soon. Yep. That's when we'll know training camp is in full bloom. AJ, I want to get your thoughts on the Kyler Murray 4-hour of independent film study clause. For an NFL quarterback that just got $160 million guaranteed. I think if we go back to the beginning of this, where Eric Burkhart, who is Kyler's agent, kind of publicly negotiated with the Cardinals, putting them, in checkmate almost. Like, kind of hold him hostage. Like, hey, are you bad people? Your team was bad before him. Are you going to pay him fair value publicly just a couple days before they had to speak at the Combine? It was great business leverage. Great business negotiation. Inevitably got Kyler Murray paid. But this clause being added in there, the Cardinals, during that open tweet from Eric Burkhart and then that press conference, they could have, right? They could have very easily been like, we think Kyler's a great player. But with modern technology, we know exactly how much time he is investing in our program, in our team, in our championships, as soon as he leaves the building. And we're here to tell you, 0 hours of film is watched alone by Kyler Murray. Go ahead and look up how many hours of film are being watched by any quarterback that has ever had actual success in the NFL. In a world in which everybody has a high football IQ and the highest of football IQs have actual success, Kyler Murray, for whatever the blueprint that has been laid in front of him, chooses not to take it because of how damn good he is. We will pay him accordingly. And what if they did that? Right? Well, they could have. They could have very easily did that to answer old Burkhart's thing. They did not. Now, Cliff's been on the show. Steve's been on the show. Kyler's also been on the show. I'm a big Cardinals fan. But if I'm in that locker room hearing about that clause yesterday on the internet, I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Because I think people just assume that an NFL quarterback, especially one that's as good as Kyler is and has the chance to be as great as Kyler can be, you just assume they're watching everything they could possibly do to become a better player, don't you?
Yeah, obviously, the fact that it's in there, that even it was brought up, which I assume the team came to Kyler's agent and said, hey, we want this addendum in there. And also it being an addendum and not being like an incentive. Like, hey, if he doesn't do this, he's going to miss out on his $500,000 workout bonus, something like that. That would have been a big deal to me too. But now you're trying to say, hey, if
hundreds of millions.
Good luck ever coming back at him and saying, hey, you didn't we actually, yeah, we did our research. We tapped into your iPad's camera, and your film was running, but you were playing video games. Like, they're going to come back at him and try to void the whole contract on something like that?
So what Kyler should do, if he does really just not want to watch film,
hire a guy to go press fast forward and rewind for you.
Yeah, just have somebody else watch the actual film and just have that be their job while you do your thing, and then it'll appear in the program.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Honestly, have that. It could knock out many things. Maybe Kyler just that's not who he is. He's not going to sit down and watch that. Have somebody he really likes and trusts watch the stuff, and then kind of put it into like Cliff's notes for him and tell him, hey, here's the big things you need to look for.
Yeah, because that's what the coaches are doing whenever you're in meetings. And what they're doing for 20 hours at the facility. Hopefully they have some good stuff for you when you show up Wednesday morning. Boom. That is what the NFL coaches do. What this is about is when he's outside the building, the extra work, adding in a little bit.
Be a pro.
more.
That's what's crazy, though. Be a pro. That's all it means. When coaches say, hey, be a pro. And it doesn't, like, you can't equate hours of film study to success on the field. You can't say, oh, hey, look at this. Peyton Manning, he had 75 hours this week, and they won the game. The next week, he only had 40 hours, and they lost. Huh? Is it a coincidence? I don't think so. Like, that's what a terrible coach would tell you. Like, that's not how it works.
I concur, but I think it's all about, like, just investing. Like,
it's not even about the film to me. It's not even about the 4 hours and all of it. It's just the fact that it's in there, and they had to do it, and they felt that this is the guy to lead the franchise, which he is. I mean, the guy's generational talent. What he can do is awesome. So I guess this is a good thing for Cardinals fans because they're saying, hey, maybe Kyler will wake up a little bit and access a whole new facet to his game.
Hey, you guys see how good Kyler's been? You all bought these season tickets and got all the jerseys? We know. Yeah, we know. This motherfucker has no idea what the other team's doing. He has no clue. He's just out there. This is literally pickup ball that Kyler's playing in the NFL. We added this addendum that can cost him $100-some million guaranteed, by the way. And they do have the technology to be able to track how much you're watching. I think if you're just playing straight through, if there was any pauses, I think that is all. I think it's very easily found by.
Who has to waste time to check on Kyler's hours every week?
I'm sure somebody is, dude. $100-some million. $100-some million.
But if he's okay, let's say through the first 8 weeks of the season, they go 8-0 and Kyler is lighting it up, and he doesn't. They can check. Hey, this dude left his iPad in his locker every single night. Now what do you do?
Well, that's not been the issue. The beginning of the seasons have never been the issue.
Yeah,
it's actually the end of the season when everybody else seems to get smarter and he does not. I think, like, not every position there's film junkies. Like, not every person is a film junkie at every position. That's just not reality. It's not real. There's a lot of gamers. There's a lot of there's a lot of guys that want to know less. I'd actually rather not think about anything. Just give me less. But at the quarterback position, just if they, and Ian Rappaport followed up today and he said that Kyler already does this. They just wanted to make sure, it's in writing. It is weird. And whoever leaked this information, by the way, was wrong. If it was the team that leaked it, not a good move. If it was Kyler and his agent that leaked it, not a good move. Nobody wanted this information out. It got out because I guess all information gets out these days. So even though they were able to hold in the trade of Hollywood Brown for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So whatever.
When contracts get uploaded, though, don't they put everybody's contract on like the NFLPA website, I think, and everyone can go through it?
Oh, do they? Is that real?
I assume that's where, like, Ian is the one that broke the news, though, right, about it?
I believe I've seen like tweets from like Floyer or something like that. Like, I'll wait for the contract to come out and I'll read through it and then I'll see or whatever.
Oh, so this is going to get out regardless.
Yeah,
it feels. I thought so. I thought it might be.
So they definitely knew that then going into the negotiation.
Has there ever been anything like this ever done in a contract?
No, allegedly, I don't know who just tweeted it, but they've covered the game for however long, and they reached out to like 30 coaches and whatever execs. And nobody has said that they've ever heard of this before. So that leads me to this point. Like, if Ian Rappaport said that he's already doing that, Kyler should have felt disrespected then, right? Like, he should have been like, hey, fuck you. Imagine if they were to go to, like, Tom or Peyton or any of these other guys. Like, hey, also, never been done before. At least 4 hours a minute outside the facility you're watching film. Hey, fuck you. How about that? That would be their response, I think, right? I'm not 100% sure.
Like, what are you? Am I a fifth grader? That's what they'd say. Like, what are you talking about? I'm an adult professional athlete.
Yeah. How much film are you fucking watching? How about that?
But maybe was this like something that they were willing, the hill that they're willing to die on? Were the Cardinals saying, hey, you better sign this addendum? Was it the last thing holding up the contract?
I would assume they'd say, hey, if you want us to pay you like a fucking guy, you're going to have to at least somewhat act like a fucking guy.
I get it. I get them doing it. I get them wanting to do it or wanting him to be more engaged or more involved or whatever, especially at the end of the season, whatever's going on there. but I don't think you have to put it in the contract. I think you can have some conversations throughout the contract, throughout the process. To be like, hey, man, we need to know he's invested with us.
Dude, you know how these billionaires operate?
Yeah. I mean, I just think
it's
it's a bad
$100 million plus guaranteed money. And there's
okay, but you're telling me, all right, you think so they think, hey, good news is if Kyler watches at least 4 hours of film on his own every week, we'll be fine. We'll be great. We won't have any issues.
Yeah, we'll go to the Super Bowl, they think.
Oh, okay, my
in
bad.
Arizona.
That gives them a chance, I guess.
I get them. I understand them wanting to do this. I think, like, didn't McCourty say, like, we're going to talk about it all year? Aren't people going to go, I guess Kyler must have got some 5, maybe 6 hours this week?
As a Kyler Murray fan, I'm excited to see him, like, potentially know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. He's gonna.
Like, I'm pretty excited for that. Like, if this guy, like, I'm pretty pumped to watch what Kyler becomes here. Now, granted, D-Hop gets hurt end of the last year. That's a tough way to finish the season. First 2 years, he's young. But the way the seasons have gone at the end, in the games that matter the most, with the most amount of eyes on him, as somebody that watches every game Kyler plays because how much I'm a fucking fan, I think he will show himself to be a much better quarterback if he is forced to watch 4 hours of extra film every single week. Osmosis will hopefully make him a better, knowledgeable quarterback so they can go on a win because Phoenix is an awesome city. They deserve it. Joining us now from a completely different sport, friend of the program, World Series champion, All-Star, Just got out of the All-Star game. Absolute stud for the Atlanta Braves. Ladies and gentlemen, Dansby Swanson. Bro.
Hey, everybody.
You have such good hair. You hear that all the time. You look like one of those influencers, either on YouTube or TikTok, who's like super handsome with the hair that's able to just do that. That's what you look like right now, Dansby.
Well, I thought about wearing a hat, but I figured you'd want to see the hair, so I just I left the hat off.
Hey,
just for you.
Let that flow. Flow anytime you can. How is the season right now? You guys, are you miserably tired already? At what point do professional baseball players say, oh, this season is so fucking long? Are you in that right now, I assume? Because All-Star break just happened, and there's another 80-some games, right?
Yeah.
So that's at least, is this a time that's a mental fatigue time for everybody, or do you just get past it as you grow older?
It's a combo of both, right? Like July, especially being in Atlanta, July is super hot. So it's hot. You never know how many rainstorms you're going to have, how many rain delays. So July and August can kind of be somewhat of like the dog days, but we always say, like, the Braves, we thrive on adversity. Like, this is what we love. This is what we do. And we feel like we keep getting better, as we go. That's just kind of, the more you do it, the more you just continue to grow, like, in strength as you go. And that's kind of the mode that we're getting in.
Let's go.
What was your All-Star experience like? Was it what you expected?
All right, so I had the craziest schedule out of everybody. So my
Shohei?
Yeah. So
crazier than Shohei?
So you got to listen to the schedule.
I don't know Shohei's schedule.
So Sunday we were in D.C. All the guys that were in the game, the Braves chartered a flight from D.C. to L.A. And Mallory, my fiance, plays for the U.S. Women's National Team, and they had their like CONCACAF championship down. And
we won. We won. Yeah. Celebration penalty. I believe Alex Morgan.
Okay. So I got special permission basically to be able to miss the first day of All-Star stuff on Monday, which was when their championship game was. So I flew from DC back home to Atlanta, hopped on a flight Monday morning from Atlanta to go down to Monterrey, Mexico. So I go down to Monterrey, spend the whole day down there, get to spend some time with her, watch her game. We woke up the next morning at 3:30 in the morning. We got 3 hours of sleep.
That's early. Yeah.
Got on a flight from Monterey to LA. So flew out to LA, landed in LA around 7:30. And then had to start getting ready for the day. So we had red carpet stuff.
Oh.
I don't know how she did it. Because I didn't run, 10 miles the night before. I was just a spectator. So yeah, I always tell her, if I played soccer, I'd run on the field, then run right back off. That would be the extent of my playing career.
Yeah, well, baseball, complete opposite of the soccer, right? You lot of standing. Standing. Need to be explosive quickly. A lot of standing though, right?
Yeah, a lot of standing. She gives me a hard time every time. But so then we went to LA, did the whole thing in LA. She had a little Gatorade shoot she was doing the next morning out there. So we stayed, did that, and then flew back home to Atlanta that evening. So I had 4 flights in 4 days. It was worth every penny. It was mayhem, but it was like something that I will cherish because I never get to watch her really play for the national team because we have the same season and we don't get time off because we play so much. So being able to go watch her do her thing like in a big stage like that was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So you got a chance to have a hell of a 4 days with a champion and an all-star experience.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
What you live in? Now you're on a little bit of a hangover, obviously celebrating the CONCACAF championship, obviously celebrating the All-Star game. Do you guys like the All-Star game or hate the All-Star game in baseball? Because each sport is kind of viewed differently. Do you guys enjoy the pageantry and the setup? That home run derby looks like a terrible idea. As a fan, I like it, but that has to be so fucking exhausting for those guys. Do you enjoy the whole experience or think you could do different or what?
I mean, I think that there's definitely some adjustments that could be made, just because the season, like I said, the season's so long that you cherish like those days to be able to kind of like get some rest and recovery, and obviously like it's an honor to be able to be selected as an all-star and the whole thing. But we always kind of say like if they gave even just like an extra day, for guys to be able to get like 2 or 3 days to be able to relax, that'd be great. But I will say my favorite part about it was getting to know like guys that you play against because there's some guys that on some other team you're like, man, I don't know if I like that guy. And then you get in the locker room with them and you're like, this dude's awesome. Like he's super funny. He's a great dude to have around. And you never have that chance otherwise. So
good camaraderie, schedule's a little fuckery. Maybe let us take a nap. Let's move on.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. Where are you at right now?
Philly.
Okay, how long are you there for? When's the next time you're in your bed?
This is actually a short road trip. This is just 3 days, so I'll be back tomorrow night.
So then you're in home for a homestand, and then you're on the road again?
Yeah. It's basically like the easiest way to look at it is like home for a week, away for a week.
Oh, you're like a nurse, right? And on for a certain amount of days, off for a certain amount of days. Yeah, firefighter, 2 on, 2 off, or whatever the whole deal is. Is there some places that are the worst, like hotel? Are you always in nice hotels and everything like that, or is there
always in nice hotels? The one in Philly might be the nicest, honestly.
Oh,
yeah.
You're living good. You're living good.
Yeah, it's nice here. It's nice.
You got to get. Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
Do you have to get different hotels because certain studs want to have like the main suite? So like this guy's got to go in this hotel suite. You take the presidential suite down the road.
No, I honestly don't care about being in a suite. Like just give me a king bed. Let me save a little bit of my extra money. Let me just get my sleep and be able to get ready for the day. Because we're at the field for our bus is at pretty much 2:30 every day going to the field. We play at 7. So we're at the field all day. So it's not, you're not spending much time in your room. So
what is that, BP, then some, do you practice during the days before the games? And there ever a practice you've had where you're like, oh, I'm fucked tonight? Does that happen?
No. So what's funny about that is if you have a bad BP, you're guaranteed to go off in the game. That's just how it works. Like if you have a good BP, you might as well mail it in that night because things aren't going good.
What is the difference between good night and bad night? Not seeing the ball, just some things not clicking? What do you think it is between because it's a failing sport. You're going to fail so much. Yeah. How come some days you're on, some days you're off, you think, in baseball?
Sometimes you see a guy good, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you hit the pitches you're supposed to. Sometimes you foul them off, like round ball, round bat, hard game. sometimes people, they just are dotting pitches on you and there's nothing you can do. Sometimes people are really good, sometimes people aren't, and you just try and obviously take advantage of each one that you get. And that's what we always say, when we get if you break your bat and get a base hit on it, which you shouldn't, but you do, I always ask guys, I'm like, you take that? You take that hit right there? And they're hey, 200 more of them, baby. I'll take every single one of them that I can get.
Oh, so that's like a bank. That's like a bank in basketball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It went in. They don't ask.
Hey, that's like a field goal. Hey, a field goal hitting off the upright. That fucker's in. Who cares?
Right.
It's 3 points.
Did we get 3 points or did we not? You know what I mean?
Everybody ain't shit. Yeah, Vinatieri was the best. Vinatieri did not give a fuck how it went through. If it went through, we are on to the next one. There are some guys.
I did my job.
Yeah, there are some guys though that are like, oh man, I didn't hit that thing perfectly end over end, and they like beat themselves up for a make, and it's like, you must be terrible to live with. You know, like I couldn't even imagine that. Ty, your question.
Dansby, with the news of Kyler Murray signing his new contract and like not watching, film or having to watch at least 4 hours outside of the facility, we were talking before the show today, and I feel like guys have always watched film in the MLB, but more recently you'll see after a guy's at bat, he'll come into the dugout and go right to the iPad and look at the pitch. How much actual film are you watching on guys during the week? Is that a big part of the game now that you're seeing so many different pitchers and you have all these at bats that are recorded? How much actual film study goes into an average week?
Here we go. 4 hours?
That's a good
4
question.
hours? 4 hours?
No. That's way too much.
I think so,
it's a different game because we play every day, right? Like we don't get a week of prep to where and obviously being a huge sports fan, you feel like quarterbacks are. Hey, that's not a bad setup. Not a bad setup. Quarterbacks, they got to know the ins and outs of everybody and what everybody's supposed to be doing. For me, especially once you start facing the same guys a ton, you don't necessarily need to watch video on what they do. And I'm a big believer in if I do what I do best, then that's going to give me the best chance to succeed. So when I watch video, I basically look at if I'm getting started on time, because if I get started late, you can't hit anything anyways. So do I get started on time, and is the timing of how my swing works, is it in good rhythm? And if it's not, then those are my two things of how I look at film and adjustments. And the other thing too that I like doing, because obviously like you said, we have iPads and stuff on the bench. I like to just see where the pitches were. If I thought a pitch was a certain place and you go and look at it and it's not there, you're like, oh Lord, I better lock it in a little bit because I thought that was, low or outside and it's, right on the plate. So that kind of just gives me a little bit of feedback.
You jogging back onto the field, jumping over the chalk or whatever, going to the hey, that's on me. That was a strike.
Yeah. Hey, I've always been honest with umpires. If I get onto them about a pitch and if I'm wrong, I go tell them, because it ain't going to do anybody any good if I go up there and I'm saying, hey man, you were wrong, and that's not building a good relationship with that guy. And if it was a strike, he needs to know for our pitchers too, right? That he was right, so he should call it when we're pitching.
Hey, robot refs, robot umps, definitely needed for baseball. Terrible for baseball.
Terrible.
Come on!
Wow.
Awful.
Come on!
What's the biggest issue?
Well, number one, so there's different, the box that is put on the screen is just not right, in my opinion.
Come! I see it every time. It's always right. When I look at it, it's always right. Yeah,
but it is. But the other thing is, so the box that they put on the screen isn't the same box that the umpires look at after the game and how they get scored. So it's there's a lot of moving pieces. And if you were to ask, there's not the definition of what a strike is hasn't changed since the beginning of time. So until there's a clear definition on what a strike actually is, I feel you can't make it some type of robotic, it hit the line, so technically it's a strike. Whereas, then the other thing too is
isn't that what it is? I mean, I don't fucking even know baseball. Isn't that what we're trying to
do? Completely devalues the ability that catchers have. Catchers. There's such an added value to guys that can frame, or that can, we call it presenting. Can they present the pitch to an umpire to get the best view possible? It's not necessarily about making it look like a strike. It's about giving the umpire the best view possible to be able to see if it was a ball or a strike.
Does your union come to you, or is there any talk about that? Do they try to float that out there? They do want to replace the umps with robots or whatever AI?
I don't know if it's gotten necessarily to that point. I know it's definitely something that I feel MLB wants to do, probably because it just makes the game more, less human error, more analytic-y. But I'm off that. This is a human game, man. This is the most human game that there is. Sports is the true reality TV, and baseball is any given night, anybody can beat anybody, whether it's the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. Anybody can beat anybody just because there's so many variables that go into it. And as soon as you start getting rid of those variables, I feel like you start losing like the nature of what our game was created to do in the first place.
Wow. Hey, that was a deep speech right there.
Hey, if you want to play that back some other time, you can.
We will. Hey, we'll run that as a commercial. We'll remind people that those words came out in the fashion in which they did out of your mouth, pal. That was a really cool speech because that's like the nuance of baseball that is always talked about by the baseball people that I am not one of. I did not grow up in baseball. So like Ty, for instance, big baseball guy. So anytime we bring up something about it, it's always like, yeah, but baseball is this, and this. And which leads me to this. Is everybody still trying to cheat at all times, every single at bat? Is that happening? Because the spider tack thing was gone. Then the juiced baseballs are now gone. Stealing signs. The garbage cans. Then the cameras in the back. Is that just a part of baseball? Just like, hey, if you can get an edge and they're not looking at it or looking for it, that's on the other team, not on you. Is that just a part of baseball? You think it was the reaction by us outside of baseball to the shit that happened with the Astros justified or not? You think in the realm of baseball chatter?
Man, talk about a deep question.
Hey, we haven't won an Emmy yet, but fucking we're shoveling for it.
I know y'all
we're
are.
digging deep.
The easy answer is I feel like in sports in general, right? Like there's so much money that goes into it. There's a lot of folks willing to do things to get the upper hand because of how much money is involved in the game that we play. Now, I think they've done a lot of good things to like clean up, like I said, some of the sign stealing or things that can kind of like jeopardize, like quote unquote, the integrity of the game. I think to me, when things are done that give you an unfair advantage that like someone else doesn't get, whether it's knowing every pitch that's coming, like those things are pretty extreme to me.
Because if you guys know,
getting rid of.
If you know what pitch is coming in the majors, if you're probably can. If you know what pitch is coming, that's a massive advantage, right? That is a huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah. Okay.
But like pitchers that tip pitches, right? Like they do something when they're going to throw a curveball. Like you can see in whether it's their body language or like they come set and their glove is like high up on a curveball and lower on a fastball. Like that's on them as a professional, right?
Yes.
It's just like a quarterback that uses the same cadence over and over again. It's like that's on them as a pro. Like they're giving the other team tidbits because they keep using the same cadence. Whereas if they're able to switch it up, like you got to be a pro in terms of how to eliminate giving the other team an advantage. That's on you.
You fucking love your sport, huh? Yeah.
I do. I love all sports, man. I'm a sports junkie.
Well, you want to watch NFL film for like 17 weeks, 4 hours a week?
Yeah.
Break down what you're seeing. Let Kyler know.
If I knew what I was looking at.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. I don't think anybody. There's not a lot of people that can help Kyler, but we all know he has to do it. He has to do it. Go ahead, Tone, your question.
Dansby, another deep one here, but it's hypothetical. Say like you were maybe a free agent and another team offered you a big contract, and then there was a rumor that your team, the Braves, offered you a contract, but your agent didn't tell you about that contract.
Allegedly.
Because the media's getting sued for that.
A lot of lawsuits.
What would your thoughts be?
Wow, that is a deep one. Put me on the spot big time.
You can tell me to fuck
I
off.
think at the end of the day, the entire story was a little blown out of proportion.
Got it. It did, by the way, because look, this idiot in the cowboy hat just first thought was this one I would like to ask you. I mean, that is the thing about baseball, though, as an outsider. It feels like it doesn't crack into the world at this stage. No offense, you should be on every camera that they could potentially put you on. You should be mic'd up for every inning you play. Not only because you're incredibly handsome and all-star, but your fucking hair deserves. I mean,
it's gorgeous.
Put a visor on this fucking guy. Then maybe that'll grow the sport. But anytime it cracks into the rest of the sports world, it's normally when something terrible happens, like a lot of drama. Baseball seems to bring a lot of drama. What do you think? Is that because of the season? Is that because just how much money in business, how old school business is at some places? Why do you think that is the case, you think, for your sport?
Well, I think whenever stories do come out, it is always like the negative repercussions of things that happen. And to be honest, to me, I feel like that's just like news media in general these days, right?
Super
like every story
negative.
every story that you get is negative. And it's like being conditioned to look at blow the negative things, up and not reward for doing good behavior. It's like if your parents only ever got onto you for doing the wrong thing instead of like reinforcing like what it is that you should be doing more often. I feel like that's just how. I mean, are we getting deep today?
Bro, are you a doctor? Do you have a PhD, dude? Are you a doctor of philosophy? This fucking brain.
College dropout, technically.
Hell yeah. Me too, dude. Me, you, Steve Jobs, Kanye West,
Vanderbilt,
Einstein.
great school though.
Oh, you went to Vandy?
It's no West Virginia.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Harvard of West Virginia.
Bingo.
That's certainly the case. A lot of thinking time when you're on the road. Is that why? Is there a lot of deep thinkers in the baseball world?
Man, I'll tell you one thing. So the best thing that we've done this year is they set up like this breakfast room for us, basically, that's open from like 8 to 12. And a lot of us go down around like 11 o'clock and we just eat and sit and talk ball. Like just sit and talk, whether it's stories, whether it's the previous game, whether it's like bouncing things off of each other, ideas, different ways to pitch, different ways to approach at bats, like just different things. Like there's so much knowledge being floated around all the time. It's awesome to be able to like soak in because, you obviously want to pass down those lessons and things like that to younger players, to whether it's rookies, whether it's, kids that just got drafted. I've never been one to be like the old school guy of like, well, why would I help you? You're taking my job. I'm always looking at it in terms of like, if I help you and you help us and we win, that's literally all I care about. Yeah. Like, I just want to win. So if what I can say to you is going to help us win, then I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead, AJ.
What's the coolest thing about playing for the Braves right now for you?
We're nasty, dude. Like, we're so good. And there's such a, Pat, you would know this. Like when you show up to the field and like you have a firm belief that you're going to win that game each and every day, no matter who you're playing, like that's an awesome feeling.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
And I could imagine what it was like to do the opposite. And like the other thing that I love about our group is like we have a team full of guys that just want to win. It's not just like sprinkled in. Like the vast majority, if not everyone, wants to win each night. So when everyone's on that same page, like you can't beat that because we can work, we can get down to business, we can also enjoy ourselves. It's just a lot of fun, man.
What you guys have? You had a margarita machine last year. Is that what that was? What you guys?
No, we had an ice cream machine.
Oh,
we had an ice cream machine.
I thought you guys were busy.
And my like one request after I won my arbitration case this year was that we get margarita machines. So whenever we go on the road, like travel day, they basically have these margarita machines set up for us.
So, all right, now we gotta go deep. You had an arbitration case. What was it about?
Yeah.
How does it work in your sport? In our sport, you go to like, you have to appeal, then there's like a little baby trial, and then something is kind of weighed down. The ruling is, what was yours? Yours for business or something you did on the field? You took a bat and hit somebody with it, got suspended?
No, it's all about your contract. So this is my last year, obviously, before free agency, and this is my third year arbitration.
Yo, let's go, cuz. You're about to be fucking like rich. Hey, not that you're not already. You're staying in very nice hotels in Philadelphia. I get it, but you're about to, hey, let's go, dude. Good for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You fucking deserve it, pal. Keep it going.
So how arbitration works is there's basically a deadline for you agreeing with your team on what your salary would be for the upcoming season. And if you can't agree on what that contract is going to look like, you go to arbitration. So the team files a number and the player files a number.
$100,000 the team says. We'd like to pay him $100,000. That's what they have. Does it have to be reasonable or it can be anything?
It can be anything. Now, I mean, I've seen people go to arbitration over, $1 million. I've seen people go to arbitration over $100,000. So it's really just risk reward, like what it is that you feel, you're trying to set yourself up with. And like for me this year, went to arbitration. The gap was $800,000, and we basically were just arguing why I was worth a certain number, and the team was trying to argue why I was worth another number, which is super funny because you go to arbitration, it's 3 arbiters who know nothing about baseball. They're just like labor arbiters, and your agency presents a case, and then the team presents their case. And when I tell you that they blast you, dude, like you come out of that meeting and it's almost comical because they're trying to prove that like you're the worst baseball player.
Yeah, it's Pawn Stars. It's
they're
Pawn
absolutely
Stars.
dogging you.
It's Pawn
Yeah.
Stars, and you're on the counter, and Rick's like, "Hey, so he's going to sit on the shelf. Ain't nobody like this guy. I mean, we got nothing from him. Sorry about it. We are 100% right. They're wrong." And then it goes to ruling, I assume.
Yeah. So
it's disgusting. Everybody talks about like being an adult and being professional. It's tough during those negotiations when you hear some things that are said, and it's like, oh, motherfucker, I don't want to do a thing for you ever again.
Right.
Like, be an adult, be professional. I'm trying.
Yeah, hey,
But-
it's just business.
Yeah.
It's just business.
Yeah, don't take it personal.
And I'm also
Sound
like, yeah,
like a lot of
it's also
personal
my
shit was
livelihood.
being said right there. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like this is also my livelihood though too. You know, so so basically the arbiters they get together and they each put out their ruling and they don't pick a number in terms of like, let's say somebody filed for 2 million and the team filed for 1 million. They pick. So they don't say, okay, you're worth 1.4 million. They
There's
just
no
say,
wiggle.
right. They just say either the team wins or the player wins. So you either get what you filed at or you get what they filed at.
And you said, I want this money, I want margarita machine.
What?
And the arbiters were like, this guy seems like he's one of us. He wants margarita.
Yeah. He's a working class guy.
Yeah, hey, congratulations. Woo! You sat through that whole thing or just agency?
Yeah, it's like 5 hours.
Oh, hearing terrible things about yourself.
You have to sit through it. So I was in we do it over Zoom now, but I was basically in a suit and tie at the house and
shorts,
just sweatpants.
Yeah, smart guy in arbitration for margarita machine at the house on a Zoom. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Dansby, since you're in Philadelphia, I got to ask, are you mentally preparing yourself for terrible questions in the clubhouse after, like Nick Castellanos, or are you just kind of used to it at this point?
Thankfully, the Atlanta folks and like our beat reporters and writers and our media folks are easy to work with, thankfully. Obviously, I've heard of stories of being a little bit differently in other places, but as far as everything that I know, it's pretty smooth sailing for us.
What is overall relationship, players, media, and baseball? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, they come in the locker room before not before the game, but usually around like 3:45, 4 o'clock, and they're in there for about 30 minutes, and then they come in after the game. So it's not bad. It's really not.
I never even thought of it until I heard this condescending.
Yeah.
Did you hear those boos? It's a stupid question. Why? What do you? Well, you were there. Do you think I heard it? Am I deaf? What, I mean, do I make you laugh? Like, I enjoyed that answer out of him, by the way. And I am always on the side of players doing that, but those media folks get so pissed off. Like, that guy was so mad that was his response. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. People, I just feel like everyone can always handle things better, and then people just start trying to like build their own case as to why they were right instead of just like looking at it like from this perspective of like maybe could have answered it better, probably could have asked a better question. Like, let's just all be a little bit better at our jobs and we'll move on.
No, obviously you don't do drugs, but you do seem like a guy who has, thought about some things from a higher altitude. Feels not that you would. I mean, it's natural. Some people have it naturally. I do not. I have to sail the clouds, to get there. Sure. But you are an incredibly deep thinking human being, dude. You obviously know that. You think that's why you're good at baseball? You're kind of calm all the time. Are you always chill? Are you an excitable guy? Do you lose your mind anytime?
No, I'm pretty chill most of the time. I very competitive, so like in game I'm very, very competitive. Like I hate losing, so that can get to me. Dude, it's funny you mentioned that because when I was watching Mal down in Mexico last Monday, Alex Morgan's husband was sitting right behind me, and we were chatting a little bit, and like, in soccer, like there's a build up and then someone shoots something on goal and like they just miss and everyone, like freaks out. And I'm just like sitting there like this, like just like kind of like stone cold, just looking. And he just taps me. He's like, dude, I'm gonna need a little bit more like emotion out of you. And I just started laughing. I'm like, man, if you were to do that in baseball, you would be worn out in the first month.
Yeah,
like,
they're going to miss 8 of these 10 shots, right? I mean, what are we even? This is
like you gotta stay even keeled. But that's just kind of how I've learned to watch games and play games. But obviously, like I've never been one to like suppress emotion in a game. Like if it's important that you can let emotion out, you just got to be able to like get back to a centered ground. Like you can't just only live off emotion, which football is different. It's different. Like it's an emotional sport. Baseball, dude, you go 0 for 10 and you're all in your head thinking about everything, like you're going to drive yourself up a wall.
Yeah, I was punter kicker, and I was too stupid to overthink everything. But there's some guys that are like super smart, and they're like, things are going bad, and they were right, and then it just only got worse. I was just like, it'll go good at some point, and that kind of got me.
Law of averages.
Yeah, I'll have to get back at some point here. We're talking to Dansby Swanson, obviously the incredible All-Star Atlanta Brave shortstop. That's a lot of action, right? Fucking shortstop, you do a lot.
Yeah, I do a lot.
How come you got a weaker arm than O'Neal Cruz? How come this guy?
Because I don't have a cruise missile attached to my right arm, dude.
Why don't you find one, dude? Why don't you find one?
Come on.
Did they bring it up? I'm from Pittsburgh. Pirates have stunk forever. If you'd like to sign with them and make them a winner, that'd be great. We would have to give you the PPG building and some other shit because the ownership is not going to give you the amount of money you're worth. That's just neither here nor there. It's our life. He shows up, though. This fucking guy, 6'7", running like a 4.2 in a 100-mile-an-hour ball. I don't even think about that. That's measured every year, how fast you're getting that over to
Man, they measure everything these days, dude. I'm telling you, it's all about like numbers and analytics now instead of like, for me, how I've always played it is if I can catch the ball, throw it to where it needs to get to, when it needs to get there, that's all that matters.
No, that doesn't make sense, dude.
No, throw faster.
That doesn't make
right?
sense.
Like I remember when I was in college, we were doing like the whole kind of like scouting process. You talk to the scouts from different teams, and one team asked me, they're like, "Do you have a good arm?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And they go, "Why don't you ever use it?" And I asked him a question back. I said, "Are they out at first?" And he looked at me kind of like, not dumbfounded, but kind of like perturbed that I would ask that. And he goes, "Well, yeah." And I said, "So what does it matter?"
Yeah,
like,
why does it?
If they're out, that's all that matters, right? Like I said, when I need to, put something on it or need to show my arm, I will. But until that play comes about, then I'm good.
Hey, that guy kept an eye on all those plays, though.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if this fucking guy doesn't get one over there fast enough. I will remind
Well, I
him.
mean, hey, look at like there are quarterbacks in the NFL that don't have like tremendous arms. I mean,
Okay, could you throw a football?
I even talk about like, can I?
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. I'm an athlete, dog. Come on now.
How many threes in high school? 100 and what? 63 or something like that? How many threes?
Yeah, I can shoot it too now. Come on now.
165 threes in high school.
Golf swing struggling a little bit right now.
Oh, you stink at golf. That must be a real shame. This guy isn't even a good athlete.
I can putt, but everything else is a little. But like I was saying, like obviously I'm a huge Matt Ryan fan. Go Colts now.
Yes!
Let's
go, dude. Come to a game. Come to a game. Need you just be very calm and sweet away from everybody else so your energy doesn't affect anybody else not being excited. But you know what I mean? Come to a game.
But that's the one thing that like I never fully got about like his arm strength. I'm like, yeah, but the guy like throws darts, dude. Like he puts it on the money and very catchable pass. Like I feel like that's an underrated part of how quarterbacks throw and everything. And it's on the money when it's supposed to be there. Like, what else do you need?
He's going to win a Super Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Shaquille Leonard on the defensive side.
For his sake, I hope he does. I'm a huge Matt Ryan fan.
Are you coming to a game, dude? I know you get like, 4 off days in your entire year?
Well, I'm getting married this offseason, so I don't know how much downtime I'm going to have.
Nice. Mal. I think I heard the name. Mal?
Yeah, Mal, M-A-L.
She's more athletic than you are? You guys just going to create some...
Hey, we've argued about that, but I still say that I am the better athlete. Now, if we were to get on a treadmill, I'm getting body bagged. I'll be dead. But
soccer players are running forever. I mean, that's just a last question here. We can't thank you enough for joining us, dude. Baseball should be putting you everywhere. Instead, they're going in arbitration telling them how bad of a fucking baseball player.
Come on, baseball.
It's unbelievable. Don't like it at all. Go ahead, Ty.
It's the truth.
Dansby, as we get closer to the trade deadline, I know you've been traded before, and I don't think it was a deadline deal. I'm pretty sure it was before the season. But do any guys, can you tell that their assholes are maybe a little bit more puckered when you hear all these names that are potentially on the block? Like a lot of guys are going to get moved. Is that evident when you look around? It's like, oh shit, this guy is thinking that he might get traded, and he might.
Well, most guys that are getting traded are usually not on good teams. So they're, from my viewpoint, they're kind of pumped. If I keep playing well, then I get traded to a team that's good and I can win like that. That's a good feeling. So guys on our team not concerned about it because we got a good team and, you know, our team's set for the most part. But, you know, guys on other teams are, you know, excited for like somewhat like a new chapter to be in a place where they can potentially go win.
I'm in a place now where I'm a baseball fan. I need your fucking jersey in here. I'm going to buy one. Oh, are you? No, I'm not. I'm going to wait till.
I can
never know. Never know.
Just text me the address and I'll send you something. Don't worry.
That's very nice of you. Philadelphia's got a little UPS or whatever over there. You send that thing from the road there. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you. Got this at a Yankee game?
Yeah.
Got this Yankee game. No big deal.
Wow.
I don't know if you ever heard of them. The fucking Yankees.
Real baseball.
Zito just clarified. This is actually a Braves ball.
Oh.
Hey, we appreciate the Braves for this ball.
Okay.
Congrats on the, what was his name? The guy, he worked for the Braves. He was playing the Yankees, though?
No, he was like the equipment manager or something like that, and he sent us that ball. He was a big fan of the show.
Hey, shout out to that guy. I don't know who he is. He's got a mullet, I think. Because he has a mullet over there. He works for the Braves. I'm sure there's a big team in the back. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Go get a nap. Go get a BP. Can't wait to watch the rest of the season. And excited to watch you get rich, dude. You deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, Atlanta Braves All-Star World Series champion, Dahnsby Swanson. Thank you, man. Couldn't hear a word you're saying, pal. You cut off because we're making noise. But we appreciate you so much. He should be on, that's a cool fucking guy that's in the MLB that I assume a lot of people, including myself, had no idea he existed before our first conversation with him, and he's awesome.
Yeah, baseball seems like they're almost like hockey, where they don't promote their stars like they should.
Well.
At all.
Let's go to the phones. Oh, we're out, actually. 15 seconds.
Yep. A double?
Yeah. Floating break. We fucking stack them up the end of the hour.
What?
It's really good for advertisers. Nice 10 minutes of nothing coming up on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Yeah, that's just nothing. You know what I mean? They're running. Actually, just got in there, too. We might be off a second. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It's whenever we press it, so I don't know.
No, not for the hard one, I think. This would be a hard out.
No, because we could miss this one, and we get in trouble.
Well, get in trouble. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What? You gonna scold me, dude? AJ, you gonna scold me? I hope not. Well,
what does that mean? Get in trouble?
I don't know, like an email get strongly
exactly.
worded.
Hey,
I'll do that again.
You better fix that now.
Hey, that situation's fascinating. The serious one. I mean,
what is that situation?
we're coming up a pretty good deadline. Pretty good, pretty solid, pretty hard out coming up.
Yeah.
No conversation. It's awesome.
They got to be thinking something one way or the other, don't they?
I don't know. I think they're just not. I think it's just like, they'll kind of just fade away.
Mad Dog's on First Take, so.
He's been on there a lot. Stephen A. got a month off for his shoulder. No, I'm sorry, didn't get a month off. It's not a month off.
No. What did he get done? What did he get completely rebuilt or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Labrum maybe, some other side. Shoulder
Have you
surgery.
tried talking to a fucking microphone with a shoulder injury? It's impossible.
All right. Let's go to the phones.
Is it really, Diggs? I haven't had a shoulder injury like that.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Bro, but think about Stephen A's run there with the NBA show that they were doing, Countdown, and then morning, and then the whole thing.
The halftime.
He was on a run there for like good 2 months straight, I think.
Yeah.
Got COVID, a couple times in the middle of that as well.
Is this a complication from?
Well, no, I think he tore his labrum because every day after they're done with First Take, he goes down to Navy Pier and hits the batting cages for 45 minutes or so.
I remember that.
Yep.
That's
why
why
he's hitting the mitts too.
Yeah, well, that's why they put the studio there, actually.
Right.
So he couldn't do
Like,
that.
hey, I need to hit at least 35 balls in the cages.
Kirkjian tosses him BP every day.
Really?
Love you, Tim.
They're boys.
Really?
Makes sense, actually.
I mean, what do you want me to do? Putting me in a compromised position here.
Doesn't he talk trash to him as he's throwing him BP?
No, he's pretty excited because he's out there throwing with him.
Well, does it? Well, you tell us.
Yeah,
Stephen A., I'm about to fucking burn one right past you. Here it comes.
Yeah, that's him. Close
Can we
your
have
eyes.
Kirkjian on?
That's excited. That's
Excitable
excited.
Tim
Sounds
Kirkjian, yeah.
exactly like him.
That is not what he sounds like all the time for those like
What's
me.
the other version then? Can Ty do the other version?
He was kind of like melancholy almost. I heard him. It was more like he was in super like grateful and gratitude for baseball. When I heard him give a speech, 1:30 a.m. I was listening to that, and I'm like, holy shit, we fucking buried this guy. And then now everybody's fun. No, it's excited, Tim. That sounds exactly. I got random people tweeting me from the baseball community, I guess, going, Ty's spot on with excited Tim.
See?
You guys lied to me, I think, though.
I did not.
No. Because he did the thing about seeing the box score about a double play being turned a certain way yesterday. And that sounded exactly like how Tim explained how you can look at the box scores.
I just feel like we didn't get all the details right when I said that's actually what he sounds like, or are we pissing this guy off? And you guys go, that's what it sounds like. That's what he sounds like.
100%. Tim doesn't get pissed off.
I'm sure he's okay with it.
He's just looking at box scores.
Tim gets fired up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets fired up, but I don't think he gets mad, though.
Never.
What's he fired up about? Anything in specific, or?
Well, like I said, you look at a box score and he says something along the lines of like 9-6-1. I haven't seen a double play turned like that in 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I gotta pay attention to Tim Kirk.
He's the fucking man, dude.
It sounds like air being let out of a balloon, bro. Not like his I don't know.
Does Ty do the melancholy too? The other one?
I don't know.
Nah, can't.
Pretty standard voice.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. If you want to see Tim Kirkjian juiced up, go look at any of like him and Scott Van Pelt talking, and Scott Van Pelt to do like a Baltimore accent, and Kirkjian just loses it, laughing, giggling, just. He will. It's unbelievable.
It's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
No way.
I do not know this guy at all.
Oh, yeah.
I know nothing about this human other than what I've experienced here. And I can't believe I've lived my life this long without him, to be honest. If this is what he is.
Hall of Famer.
It is.
I cannot believe.
If you close your eyes and you listen to Ty do that, and then you listen to a Tim Kirkjian clip, you can't distinguish the two.
All right, let's get to a break, please.
I'm gonna do that later.
You can't. It's unbelievable.
All right, let's do music down for a second. Please give us excited Tim Kirkjian going into a break with an hour 3 on the other side with Dana White joining us.
Dana White's coming on the other side with the UFC Card of the Year coming up. And we just had Dansby Swanson. He's one of the reasons I love baseball more than anything. We'll see you for hour 3.
Boom.
All right, okay.
It was Tim.
We're back in 5 minutes.
good.
Tim Kirkjian.
Is it? We don't know.
Ty needs his own show as Tim.
If that's Tim, Tim needs his own show.
Yeah.
Why is Tim not on First Take every morning?
It's a great question.
Price
Because they don't want him fucking
feeling.
body bagging Stephen A. every day.
What would he say? What would he say when Stephen A. goes, baseball is losing more numbers at a grotesque amount than any other sport in history?
Wrong!
That's just
Wrong!
You just keep saying wrong, and then probably start laughing.
All right. He'd win.
He'd win.
He'd win. Checkmate. All right, we're back in 5, hour 3. Dana White will join us. The 30th Ultimate Fighter series finale is this weekend.
Here we go.
Shit.
Yeah, 30 seasons of Ultimate Fighter.
Diesel.
That's unbelievable. And it's Pena Nunez too.
Oh, let's roll.
Okay.
We saw Pena at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yep.
Juliana right over on the side.
With the belt.
She is the champ. She'll be defending against Nunez, and this is the end of the Ultimate Fighter 30 seasons.
Unreal.
Pretty good.
A lot of scrapping. Talk to Dana about that in 5 minutes. Maybe Tim Kirkjian and your phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line 1-833-4-McAfee. We'll see you then. All right, so we're going to do top chat on the hockey net, okay? Upper 90 in soccer, top chat in hockey. That seat is in the way, so if I get a pass, this should be pretty good. This is a great way to kick off a weekend, huh? This is for the soccer, all right? Because we're winning the soccer Lombardi and get through. That's if that goes in. What? Have a great weekend.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this glorious NFL training camps have started up. Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Football seems to be back. Oh my God, let's talk about it. It starts now.
That's right.
AJ, that a baby way to get it in. AJ Hawk to my left, Super Bowl champion. Toxic Table champions of life at Ty Schmidt at Boston Connor. One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys Ton Diggs is here. Chains look nice. Cowboy hat looks nice.
Thank you.
And that is a
I don't know.
Is it like salmon?
It's a little more orange than salmon.
Little
salmon.
I'll tell you what, to put salmon on, you gotta be feeling yourself though.
Oh,
Ton
yeah.
Diggs feeling it. Let's go.
Hell
Tony.
yeah.
Training camps. You know,
Stay hot, Tony.
Check in with the
Tony.
boys, Tony.
Thank you.
Let's go. You don't put salmon on if you're not feeling good.
I always enjoy a good salmon color.
Yeah, but you're not putting it on Dahn Day. Today's not a Dahn Day, though.
I'm not putting it on in February. I'll tell you that. But
Exactly. Training camp day.
Yeah, for sure. Nice.
Give me the fucking salmon. Let's run around training camp real quick. So there's some news and updates. Joey Burrow will be missing the next week or two due to getting his appendix removed via a case of appendicitis. Ian Rappaport reported Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow undergoing surgery to remove his appendix. He'll miss some practice time, but better now than later. Amen. How lucky is he to be around all these doctors and trainers and everything as his appendicitis happens, which I believe is lethal, right?
Yeah, it can be.
Can fucking kill you. Incredibly uncomfortable getting that out. He's not going to be happy to miss the first couple of weeks of training camp because of this, but goddamn, it's much better than the alternative, AJ Hawk.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, it doesn't burst. That's, I guess, when you have some issues when it bursts in there. But also, I think for the longevity of the season and his career, it's good. Get his arm some rest. He doesn't need to throw for a couple weeks. You don't need to continue to stack throws on top of throws. So I think ultimately it's going to be fun.
Appendicitis is when your appendix bursts, right? And your appendix has shit in it that could kill you?
Yeah, I believe appendicitis is either before or after it burst. They probably caught it before it burst, I assume.
Okay, because if it does burst, problematic.
Then you start like throwing up, and then you go to the hospital and like, oh, you got appendicitis. We're gonna have to do surgery right now.
And so like, get the scalpel.
Yep.
We need to get in there now and get rid of that thing. Joey Burrow, obviously not how you want to start the training camp, but will he be able to be around, or will he be like Dahn from this? Do we know? I'm trying to think back to the kids like I went to school with.
Probably today.
Today.
Yeah. I feel like he can
So
be
they
around.
just caught it and I don't know how
He'd
long.
probably be
it'll
around, just not running and getting.
Yeah.
They're saying 2 to 3 weeks recovery. I wonder how long until he's back taking mental reps, you know.
Couple days, I bet.
Yeah.
Sitting in, he's from Ohio too, right? You're saying?
Yeah, I would imagine, 1 or 2 days.
Okay, so he's in a golf cart sitting behind all the team drills, obviously still getting mental reps. This is a little bit, this happened with Carson Wentz and the Colts last year, but Carson Wentz wasn't with the Colts before then. He was out for like 2-3 weeks because of foot injury that happened in high school that resurfaced in training camp. And the Colts, I think they never really caught their groove until it was almost too late. They started like 1-5 or like 2-5 or something like that because training camp kind of got all out of whack. Let's hope that's not the case with the Bengals because that Joey Burrow-led squad is electrifying to watch. In the AFC North, it's going to be hot in the kitchen. Do not let them Pittsburgh Steelers win a couple games and make this AFC North a full race, right?
They play each other week 1, so hopefully he's all right for week 1. I will say this though.
He didn't mean that.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, he did not mean it. Did you hear that, AJ?
Oh, he definitely did not mean that. But I want to ask Diggs, who is starting week 1 for Pittsburgh?
I would assume Mitch.
Everybody, except for some media, I guess, in Pittsburgh, and I only know that because Mark Madden's Twitter account. I think everybody's expecting Mitchell Trubisky to start and then Kenny Pickett coming in at some point. But all eyes are on how Tomlin will handle this drafted quarterback versus incumbent quarterback who has never played for the team, but is a veteran quarterback who was there beforehand. I think all eyes are on that. I hope this doesn't slow down the Bengals, though. End of the season is when football matters. He's got a lot of time to make up for this, but coming out of the gates, I hope this doesn't slow down the Bengals team. I think we're all very pumped to watch, especially now with those white helmets. Yeah. Those white helmets in a sponsored stadium and $500 million in repairs to the jungle. It's going to be electrifying over there. Let's hope this doesn't slow that down.
I don't know if you guys remember or not. I think he'll be okay. Remember last year he was coming off the ACL surgery and stuff like that. that, and like the offense was looking terrible.
Said he wasn't comfortable, remember, in
Yeah.
the pocket with bodies around him, too.
So, like,
He had that big ass knee brace on. He's walking across the highway to get to the practice facility.
I think he'll be okay.
They got an O-line now.
Remember they had to press the
walk
button,
button.
put the walk button on. It stretches in 15, but this thing
Substitute
goes.
teacher cart.
Yep, once every 4 minutes, put the cart up. They changed that whole thing, by the way. Much more professional this year. I don't know if you saw it. It was at a hotel.
Really?
Had a table out there with a bunch of microphones on it. Mike Brown was actually speaking about Joey Burrow, who we assume is going to come back better than ever. Hey, good luck on this surgery, Joe.
Good luck, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
You got
Get
this,
him, Joe.
Come on, Joe.
You can do it, Joe.
Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, notoriously cheapskate.
Yeah.
Okay, old school. He was once the owner of the Browns, his last name. Then I don't know if he got kicked out or sold or something. Goes down to Cincinnati, starts the Bengals. The stadium is named after his father, Paul Brown Stadium. I mean, it is a full-on situation in Cincinnati where they are the oldest of old schools. They did not have an indoor practice facility in a 4-season climate.
I mean, this guy.
Oh no! Oh no! What?
Of course. Ohio.
Is that fucking Brown?
Oh, shutting him down.
Oh.
Swanson was no problem.
No, he wasn't.
He was
From
in
a hotel in Philly.
He's in Philadelphia. It's much further. That's a whole state and a half.
Yeah.
Come on.
2 states, actually, from where he is.
Exactly 2 states.
No, state and a half. State and a half. Pennsylvania, very wide state. Probably put like
Plus-
3 normal states.
Well, and you can add also center Indianapolis, so it's half of Indiana, right?
Yeah, you're right. So it is 2.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's another state and a half from where AJ's
About
at.
12 hours for me.
Gito said there's a good chance that the power is just completely going out at the Hawkeyes.
What?
Is there another storm brewing?
There was a storm here today, I think, in
Yeah, I
Indy.
think it's
but
supposed to rain all day.
he's got a bunch of construction happening at that. Probably just somebody came
me
in with
see.
a thing and just
Cut his
see ya.
cord.
How you doing? Keep it moving. Fiber no more. Who's on TV? Nobody is. Not you. Internet doesn't matter. Fuck off. That's what somebody just said to Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, Ryder Cup champion, AJ Hawk.
That's bold.
Unbelievable.
I wouldn't be saying that to AJ.
I think Dana was supposed to join us 5 minutes ago.
Did it happen to him too?
There's just a little rain right now.
We're waiting for him to get in the Zoom.
Checking radar.
What were we talking about right there?
Paul Brown.
Paul Brown, yeah, he made some comments about like Joe Burrow and the future of the Bengals and what they're trying.
What was that?
I was going to say, was that lightning or was that someone trying to put their head through this wall?
Is there a fucking dumpster going into the wall right over here?
Massive chance.
Or is that thing blowing up on the other side like it had in the past?
Oh, did one of the bums get in back there?
I don't know if any.
Wow.
There's a lot of those out here.
Uh-huh.
The amount of people having conversations with themselves in a passionate fashion outside of our office has to be higher than anywhere else.
Too many.
There's a lot of people yelling. Okay, we'll get to a break. We'll be back on the other side with Dana White.
Here we go.
AJ lost all his power. Computer down.
Okay.
Classic.
So nice knowing AJ.
See you, AJ. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
See you next year, AJ.
Start talking about the Brown family, how they operate. We'll get back to that after our conversation with the legend that is Dana White. We have to switch computers in the back due to tech issues. We'll be back in 4 minutes with Dana White chit-chatting about this upcoming weekend, another trip around the sun, and all the other incredible things he's got cooking. Can't wait for that. See you in 4. Bill?
What happens after death? I don't know. I have no idea. But I know there's nothing that's mad at me.
That's good.
It's just so stupid. Because he created everything.
Or she.
She, well, definitely a she, because God doesn't take responsibility for his own actions. What? You set me. You set me up. No, I just don't understand. Like, yeah. If you just watch nature videos, you can't believe in a God that cares.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I watched this one time, this fucking baboon or a little monkey. There was a baby gazelle, and they go after him if they can get him. And he got it away from the mother, and the mother can't get rid of the thing. And he just ripped the thing and just started eating the thing alive as it was screaming in agony. And I'm just like, you made something that did that? Or like rabbits? Like their whole fucking purpose is just to be eaten. They have no fucking defense, just fucking hopping around. Just complete jerk-offs, right? And then they just like, their only survival is that we fuck so much we can stay out in front. Like they're literally designed to keep everybody else alive by being eaten alive.
So you think there's some flaws potentially in the entire...
No, I just think that, like, I think if there's a God, right, and he made all of this shit, or she, right, or they, or the deep state, man, I just think that, like, you know, he did what he did here, and he just moved on.
Anybody hate you? And no, you can't say it publicly, but does...
I would imagine there's a list. You know,
that'd be a shame. You didn't deserve it.
No,
you're just
like,
doing your job.
There are some people here who I've like had some like angst with or some tension with, but I see them at these meetings. Sort of why I come to these meetings, and you're like, you hash it out and you kind of figure it out, and you're like, all right, I was mad at you for this, you were mad at me for this. Let's fist bump from semi-social distance and kind of move on. That happens a lot at these meetings too.
Yeah, especially while you guys are out there boozing. You know
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Give me one whiskey for the guy pissed off over there. Why? Give me one Bud Light for the lady I offended over there. Why? Give me one beer. Why? One tequila. Why? One vodka. Why? I need to make good with everybody in this goddamn building. Why? Is that what you do at those things, man?
I mean, yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, it's a good move. Yeah, it's a good move. You're a legend.
100%.
Hey, welcome back to the show here on this Tuesday, July 26, 2022, hour 3. It's a fantastic day. It's a glorious day. The heat wave has stopped in where we are. It is no longer 100 degrees. It is now 75 and perfect. Joining us now is a man who is always at 120 degrees. His life is spinning at a full clip at all times. This weekend, he will be celebrating the 30th season of The Ultimate Fighter coming to a conclusion in a masterful main event of Pena versus Nunez 2. He is also obviously the founder of Fuck It Friday, the president of the UFC, has deals everywhere, and every time he joins us, we can't thank him enough. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Dana White. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, before we get to this weekend, 30 fucking seasons. Hey. Wow. Hey, nothing lasts 30 seasons anymore. Look at you. You're a fucking entertainment mogul. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about that, actually. The first one seems like yesterday. And, obviously very instrumental in growing the sport, the brand, and, yeah, I love The Ultimate Fighter.
Hell yeah, 30 years.
And my Contender Series starts tonight at 5 o'clock on ESPN Plus, too.
Look at you. Hey, look at you. Look at you. You're like your own studio production guy. UFC is making
What
fucking...
are we on?
What's that?
I think we're on 6, 7? Season. Oh. We're on season 6 or 7 of the Contender Series.
Is that 37 seasons of entertainment that you have put? I mean, let's go, dude.
Unbelievable.
Let's fucking get this guy an Emmy.
Come on.
Let's get him a Lifetime Achievement Award. Right? Speaking of Lifetime Achievement, hey, your birthday's on Thursday. Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Anything special for the birthdays now?
No. I try to ignore my birthdays these days. Pretend it's not really happening.
How come? So you can just keep working and not be a distraction?
I'm about to be 53. Who the fuck wants to be 53? Not me.
Better than the alternative. I mean, you keep doing the fucking Fridays. I mean,
keep doing fucking Fridays, I ain't gonna live to 63.
what do you think about, the future? Because everybody knows you're rich, right? We know you're rich. You deserve it, by the way. You worked your ass off for it. You fucking had a plan. You executed it. You kept working. You remained yourself, right? No sellout. You're about to be fucking 53. Do you think about the future, or are you so much in the moment at all times that you just kind of go from one thing to the next?
Yeah, no, I'm totally into this. One thing that I have done, and I think you saw it this summer. My kids are like, my daughter's about to be 16 in August. My boys are 20 and 21. I've been spending lots of time with them as much as I can, because they're in school and college. So I'm trying to get away with them as much as I've been able to. But other than that, no, man, I love what I do. We're just cranking along here. Since going through the pandemic, we're killing it. We're about to head into Dallas this weekend for our 21st straight sellout. We keep breaking every record that we have. We keep breaking fight night records out of the country. And the list goes on. And I love that shit. So I'm having a blast.
You're in your prime right now. You're right there in your prime. You kind of got enough figured out about the business. You know what works, know what doesn't work. And your fans are so loyal and passionate. Like in London over there this past weekend, getting a chance to watch, obviously, Meatball and Patty, and the main event didn't, injuries are going to happen, I guess, in the sport, that type of stuff. But that arena over in London, and this, you're talking about Texas, it's the 5th time since the pandemic you've been in Texas. 23 sellouts, like, hey, you fucking did it, man. That is not easy to do at all. What do you think about your fans, and what do you think was the thing that really got you guys over the hump to become this massive global brand? Do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's true. I love our fans. Our fans are crazy. They're very engaging. They're very passionate. They flip out about every little thing that's done, or get crazy excited about every little thing that's done. But I said it, and I'll say it again. If you've never been to an event in London, England, you have to check it out. Anywhere in England. It doesn't have to be just London. Anywhere in England, Ireland, the fans over there are awesome. It's such a unique, cool experience to Dave Portnoy was over there from Barstool. He was literally texting me the whole fight going, holy shit, this is insane. This is one of the greatest sporting events I've ever been to, and he loved it.
Yeah, it was also, he had the wig on, and I believe Patty choked out Cuzzy right in front of him. And the monocle, and then the celebration. Like, you have this ability. And when I went to that one in Vegas after Money in the Bank, I walked in, Mason Crosby was there, Shaun White was there, Miles Teller was there, Chris Pratt was there, Shaq was there, obviously Steve and the full center, the Nelk Boys were all there. I was very fortunate to be there. It's just like it's become a thing, and your events are fucking electrifying. What do you expect from this weekend? My balls is hot is fighting. Fucking can't wait to watch him get back in there. But how do you continue to top yourself, you think?
Yeah, we've been to Dallas. We've been to Texas 5 times, like you said, but this is the first time we've been back to Dallas since the pandemic. So I expect, the same electricity. I expect it to be incredible. So I'm excited. And Dallas is a fun city.
Oh, hey, good times. You ever go over to Fort Worth over there?
I've never been to Fort Worth.
Okay, so they got these fucking cows that just walk right down the middle of the street. They got these Texas Longhorns, Dana. They just walk right down the middle of the fucking street. And then some guy right out of the 1910s or maybe 1400s with this long-ass mustache, handlebar mustache, is on a horse behind it, middle of the day. You're just walking down the street. Oh, this is Texas. Kind of what you end up saying. Oh, this is Texas right here. I would recommend stopping by, Dana.
That's so cool. Yeah, love it.
Do you do anything for fun?
How far is Fort Worth from there?
45 minutes. I think everything's like 30, 45 minutes.
The drive from Dallas?
Yeah, I think it's like Dallas, Arlington, then like Fort Worth is over here. That's why it's like the whole fucking thing.
Airport's in the middle.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out then. Absolutely. I'm glad you told me that.
Bro, I was on top of a fucking bull at one point down there. I just out of nowhere had no idea I'm on a fucking bull in the middle of Texas. And it didn't have the 100 inches from tip to tip like the record breaker did, but still a pretty good bull. What do you do for fun, Dana? Eat crazy foods on Fridays?
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. I play blackjack, man. That's what I do. I either hang out with my kids or play blackjack. If I'm not working, I'm doing one of those two things.
You only allowed to play at one place too, right? What was it? MGM?
No. I can play at first of all, place you should play is Caesars. Told you that before.
That's what you said.
I can play at Bellagio. I can play at Venetian and Mandalay Bay.
So you do that +1, -1 thing just right in your head? Have you always been able to do that, or you just get good cards?
I don't know what it is. It's just sort of a feel for the game. But the biggest thing, the biggest strategy that I have is, come on. Don't sit around and just keep playing. I mean, that's the biggest mistake people make. If you walk into a casino and you have $100 and you win a fucking $100, leave.
Yeah.
Nobody does that though. Everybody goes to Vegas and they got this amount that they're willing to lose. Is it 2,500? Is it 5,000? You go in there with your buddies, you're all drinking, everybody's playing, and they're not playing the right way, and they lose 2,500, $5,000, whatever their number is, and they're okay with that.
Yeah, they
I'm
got
not
Vegas.
Okay with that. I'm going there to win.
Vegas. How'd you get into this? Have you always been a gambler? I know you were a boxing trainer or something way back in the day, right? I don't think I know the exact story here. You grew up in Vegas, went over to the Northeast, and come back to Vegas. What is that the proper path?
Well, we moved to Nevada from Massachusetts. In like 1978 or 79, I was in 5th grade and we moved to Vegas. My mom was a nurse and they were paying nurses more in Vegas than anywhere else in the country. So that's why we moved here. And once we got here and started getting around casinos, I became obsessed with it. Yeah.
When'd you get into the fight game? Same thing. Whenever you were just a kid in Vegas, like boxing just became a thing, promotions became a thing. And Tyson, a big part of that, I assume.
Yeah. So obviously, all the stuff that would go on here as far as boxing when I was a kid, but I started my career in boxing in Boston. Yeah, there's a guy named Peter Welsh from South Boston, Massachusetts, and I came up under him.
So you went from Nevada back to Boston, got into boxing, and then would go back to Nevada again?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like Nick Khan, right? He's a Vegas kid, and he is now co-CEO of the WWE. Congrats to him.
Yeah.
And obviously he went in there. But I chatted with him about you. He was like, yeah, it's like a Vegas guy. Dana, older than me, a little bit older than me, made it. Like Dana was like an inspiration to him. It's like, that was like cool to hear from him, who was so fucking impressive at what he does. He's like, yeah, Vegas guy, made it before me, did the whole thing. So I think that Vegas community real tight, right? Even though there's just a bunch of blacked out white folks coming in and out every weekend.
It's true. Back when I first moved here, there was like less than 250,000 people that lived in Las Vegas. So yeah, it was a very tight knit community.
What do you think about all the big name fights that are being teased on the internet, and ultimately it's your job to make them happen or not? Do you have to take what they say or what they don't say, or are you strictly gut feel on your own end?
No, I mean we listen a lot to the fans and what the fans want to see. I mean, Mayweather-McGregor was a fan-built fight. That thing took on a life of its own, and I got to a point where I was like, all right, I got to make this thing happen. People want to see it. My job is to put on fights that people want to see.
Steve Jobs said, though, people don't know what they want until you show them. There's always a bunch of different things. Like Nate Diaz tweeting about wanting another fight. Did that affect him getting another fight that I think we are all fucking pumped for? And that whole thing, was that a part of it or no?
Well, Nate Diaz tweeting that he wants to fight Francis Ngannou doesn't do it for me. No, but, you see the fighters, asking for all kinds of crazy shit. So,
Is that us?
They want, and then you got to do what makes sense too.
Okay. So, we have one question for you here from a guy from Boston. Boston Connor, your question for Dana.
Yeah, Dana, are you worried now that your gift of $250,000 got out to the Nelk Boys that's kind of like your floor when it comes to birthday gifts?
Hey, my
now
birthday
for
was in
everybody?
May, dude. My birthday was in May 2nd. May 2nd.
You know what? I'm glad you asked me that question. Let me set this record straight. First of all these people on the internet, go fuck yourself. Okay? However the fuck I want to spend my money. Mind your own fucking business, number one. Number two, if you look at what Kyle and the Nelk Boys have done as far as Howlerhead and a lot of other things that they've done, those kids have never asked me for anything, ever. Never asked me for anything. And they couldn't be better people. Kyle has done so many things for me. And believe me, the $250,000 that I gave him for his birthday does not cover the amount of things that kid has done for me.
That's awesome.
So don't count other people's money and mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, somehow you became an asshole when really it was one of the nicest friends gifts I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, somehow this piece of shit just gifted a friend of his $250,000. It's like, well, I think that's Isn't that a nice
Yeah.
gesture?
What they act like, what these, and a lot of this is driven by the scumbag MMA media. So what happens is they act like there's this massive safe here at the UFC offices that says fighter pay on it. And I go in there and I just grab whatever I want out of the fighter pay. No, you fucking pieces of shit. This is money that I actually have made over an entire career, and I will spend it however the fuck I want.
Hey! Hell yeah! Hey, that felt good to get that off your chest there.
I'm so glad you asked me that question.
Had a baby, Connor.
Here we go.
Hey, happy we did it too. We are also big fans of the entrepreneurialism of that whole crew over there. You know, like mad respect. Obviously, Hallerhead, big sponsor of UFC fights, so I assume there is money in there. Happy Dad, also a big thing over there with the shoeies. I mean, the amount of business you all have done together, and the fact that you, I mean, I don't want to say this, but 2 different generations of business is happening, but I think real respect's real in that whole thing. And I got nothing but love for that. And the fact that you give $250,000 to people, I think it should have been a compliment. Yep. Instead, obviously, it gets taken back. You and the MMA media always hated each other? Always? Or?
I mean, listen to me. You can go back to New York when I was just in New York. Listen to the questions that these people ask me. Tune in Saturday night at the press conference and listen to the questions that these people ask me. It's like one of the guys is like, hey, I just fucking ripped some guy for asking me a stupid question, right? Then the other guy says, you're probably going to get aggravated with me. I'm fucking Jimmy from ABC Sports Radio, but, it's my job. I have to ask these questions. So he asked me about Jake Paul, right?
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Your job is to ask me questions about a guy who isn't in my company and doesn't even fight in this sport.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that even make sense?
He wouldn't be doing his job, Dana.
Right?
The guy, he wouldn't be able to sleep at night if he didn't ask you that, Dana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a lot of grandstanding, it feels like, around the world right now. And you're at the top of the totem pole, especially in the MMA world. You would think they would appreciate you, though, because you're putting on fights like every fucking weekend at this point, right? There's no way this.
And they all get to work. They all get to work. They all have jobs. They all whatever.
The sport's never been like that, though, right, Dana? I mean, what you're doing right now, unprecedented, right? And maybe I don't know the small niche MMA community as much as I probably should, and I feel bad for that. But you guys putting on fights like every single weekend is not normal in the combat sports world, I don't think, or...
Not at all. Not even close. First of all, no promoter in the history of the world has done what we have done, And when you talk about fighter pay... We're the only promoter in the history of the world ever that pays people more than what they're actually contracted to make. And that's every single fighter on the roster makes more than they were contracted to make. Fighter pay has gone up and all this. I don't even want to get into this shit, but yeah.
No, but that's really the root of it all, right? They hold that over your head every time a conversation starts about anything, right?
No, it's not that they hold it over my head. What drives them crazy is they don't know. They don't like the fact that they don't know. They want to know fucking everything. Like in all these other sports, you find out. I mean, we're already hearing what's going on with the negotiations with the Boston Celtics and possibly Durant and all this other. I don't tell these fucking people anything ever. You know what they know? What I tell them. And I tell them nothing because I can't stand them and I don't trust them.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think a lot of people would point to a lot of situations that happened throughout your run here as president and say, hey, Dana makes a lot of sense for why he feels that way. Do you think, though, that you'll get to a point where the bonuses, like those get thrown in always, right? They're like, fight bonus goes to this, fight bonus goes to this, fight bonus goes to this. I assume that was something you created to say thank you to your fighters that go in there and do something. And how did those come about and how many more have been added, do you think, over the years?
Yeah, 100%. And to incentivize people to go out and perform, right? They're all there for one reason and one reason only, to achieve greatness, but to make money. And, we try to incentivize them to perform.
Hey, you look like you lost a little weight. You back?
Yeah. I've been hitting it hard, and I've been ketoing.
Hey, I keto too. How fucking awesome is it? It is awesome.
Listen. Keto is the greatest diet of all time, if you even want to call it a diet. I mean, it really is a way of eating. And now these days, they make keto bread. They make keto potato chips. They make keto everything.
I'm gonna blow your mind here. I'm gonna blow your mind. These Quest peanut butter cups. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a Sweet Tooth guy? You go to Sweet Tooth?
Oh God, I'm the worst.
Oh yeah, I seen fucking Friday. Why'd I even think about that? Hey, will you go grab one of those Quest peanut butter? Hey.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you mine too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No, go out in the fridge, my fridge.
Hey, this thing
Yeah.
right here, Dana. These little peanut butter cups taste exactly like Reese's. 1 net carb, dude. 2 of them, full size. I'm telling you, fucking unbelievable. This is a game changer. I'll probably be able to keto forever. Literally looks just like a Reese's. Tastes just.
Oh man.
Yes.
I'll buy them today.
Yeah. I got. All right, listen. I don't want to say anything. We got 15 boxes of them outside. It is a game changer for me. I'll eat it 1 net carb, dude. A lot of protein in there. It satisfies the sweet tooth. Then I get some steak, some chicken, some bacon. It is awesome. What is
These
that?
Slate protein shakes.
Yeah, let me write it down.
They're excellent. They're unbelievable, and yeah, 0 sugar. 20 grams of protein, 110 calories, and they make them in 3 different flavors: dark chocolate, mocha, and they're lactose free too.
Oh.
You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to send you guys over a couple cases of this.
I'll send you some of this.
I'm going to grab.
I'll send you some of
those
this. Hey, I'll send you some of this.
Deal. We'll do a trade here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at us negotiating. Look at this deal we just made here. This is what it's like. We just told everybody what we're doing, though. Now, so a lot of people are going to know your business, so that's a little bit of a fuck.
Hey, have you tried the nacho chips yet? They're like Doritos.
I have not. What are they?
I'm going to send you those, too. I'm going to send you a whole keto holy shit box.
All right.
Okay?
I'll do the same. I'll send what I got back, too. We'll do a full thing here. Look at us getting healthy. Yeah. Let's go, dude. Woo. All right. Have an incredible weekend. Congrats on 30 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter. Obviously coming to a finale this Saturday. Cannot wait to watch. The Contender Series has 6 seasons. I mean, you're absolutely crushing it. Can't wait to see what you do next. Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother. And the Contender Series starts tonight on ESPN+.
Let's go! Yeah. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. The president of UFC. Great gift giver.
Later, boys.
Yeah. Hey, great gift giver.
Oh, yeah.
Dana White. Dana! All right, we just did a full thing. So I'm getting nachos.
There you go.
Shakes.
Doritos.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
If I get Doritos and Reese's, say goodbye to me being fat ever again. Now, I don't know how this all works out with the heart. You know, as I'm eating bacon, it's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to eat. And then you're eating like all meat and doing this whole thing. And you just took one class as a kid on what's healthy and what's not healthy. Sure. It's hard not to be like, feels like my heart's going to shut down, but I am losing weight. And they're like, no, actually your body metabolizes it in a fashion that they wouldn't normally metabolize it whenever you have no other carbs because it starts eating itself as opposed to. So that is just merely being rented in your body while the protein is able to go to your muscles. It's like, all right, fucking got me if I can eat bacon and Reese's.
Those arteries will be screaming, but you'll be looking damn good.
Yeah, but the arteries got no chance anyways. McDonald's was in walking distance of my house, and they had the dollar menu.
Yeah. Well said.
So, I
Good
mean,
point.
I do a lot of that. Let's get to a break. Did we already go to a break?
Already went to one.
Great. Is AJ here?
Unfortunately, AJ is in a Wi-Fi. All his internet's down in the whole entire city of wherever he's from.
That sounds like a lie.
Centerville?
Well, he's from Centerville. That's where he grew up. Let's go Elks. Elk Pride. He currently lives in the Columbus area.
Yeah.
But a
major outage.
subsection of the Columbus area where all the ups live.
Interesting.
All the ups live. Very nice area. Very nice
Wonder
area.
if they didn't want a tower in their area because it's an eyesore.
Hey, Dan Orlovsky's Yup Town.
And that's real in Connecticut. They don't let you put shit up over there.
Listen, when this money was earned by generations that came before all you spoiled, entitled, rich fucks, we didn't have towers.
Wow.
And we ain't gonna have towers tomorrow either.
You know what I haven't seen in a while? Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. Fucking wires. Everything's under the ground. I grew up with wires. From telephone pole to telephone pole.
You're right. Me too. Telephone pole to telephone pole is why I was normally quarterback.
Exactly.
Because I can make it there first before anybody else could.
Seen wires lately?
My whole neighborhood underground. It's annoying. We don't got streetlights either.
See?
Where the hell does streetlights go?
I synced in my head.
How do we know when to come home?
In my head, you're right. That was the alarm clock.
Yeah.
I'll never forget being stuck up on the hill when it gets dark.
It's better than being stuck down a hill.
Nah, listen, I disagree, actually. Running downhill as if you think somebody's behind you
right.
trying to kill you.
Good luck.
That is quite a thrill.
Quite a thrill.
Oh my God, downhill like this too. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
hill isn't like an easy one, just like running straight downhill. Oh my God, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then you accidentally get tired and you stop. You're like, oh, they're gonna kill me. And then you're in that was a whole thing.
I had a thought the other day because I had to kind of do like a run down a hill a little bit, and I said, "The kids around here know how to run down hills."
Yeah, that's right. What about their balance and equilibrium? How about their knees?
They
Think
never
about how
run
nice
down
their
hills
knees
before.
are.
They definitely don't know how to.
All these flatlanders here have no idea the
How to
knee
run down a
abuse of
hill.
running downhill. Remember what they call hiking too? Walking
just
in the
walking
woods.
in the woods.
Come on.
I didn't know that one. Pretty clever little name you yups put on walking in the woods. Let's go hiking. Get sticks and everything like
It
that.
has to be uphill, I thought.
Zito, let's go ahead and run the horn around training camp because we're not going to have AJ. AJ, we miss you, pal.
Hey, good luck,
Good luck, AJ.
A lot of stuff happened.
AJ's currently Amish. So
Yeah, classic.
that's why he's living. Good
Big,
for him.
dumb
I'll
Amish
make good
guy.
butter tonight.
Big, dumb Amish Ahad guy. He will make good butter tonight. Good, probably a rocker.
Yeah.
Probably a wicker basket.
Right.
What else? Good cabinetry.
Yeah.
Basically,
Roofing.
anything that involves
Burn a
wood or
candle or
hard
two.
work.
One of those chairs.
The Amish kind of got cornered. Horse racing.
Yeah.
They're good
Horse
at
racing.
Horse racing, yeah.
Car games.
That's probably what AJ's up to because now he's Amish. Got no internet.
I assume he's just punching the sky.
Oh, he's
There's a text that makes me believe, and I haven't got to talk to him too much because obviously you've been on the air the entire time. Read just a couple words from him in a text format. He's not thrilled.
No.
He is not. I believe he said this is a joke. So anytime that is being said, there is a full sweat, pissed off situation happening.
Might have gone downstairs and grabbed a sledge, started helping those boys fix his house up so this situation gets done.
He grabbed some
Fast.
pliers so he could rewire the fucking
system.
fiber.
Yeah.
All right, there's some breaking news coming out of a lot of different training camps. Let's go ahead and run through them as they pop up. Tom Pelissero is reporting that 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan says he, John Lynch, and Jimmy Garoppolo spoke this morning, and everyone's on the same page. We have moved on to Trey. Okay. So that means Jimmy G's getting traded or cut soon. If he gets cut or traded, he saves $20 million off of the San Francisco 49er cap, and no team has to pick up what he had. If they trade, they have to pick up 20-some million. If he gets cut, it's basically a restart for everybody. He can pick and choose for however much money he wants to go, and the Niners don't have to pay him $20 million. If he goes back into the building, that just his mere presence, and this sounds terrible, he's too good of a guy, too good of a leader, too well-liked to be in there. If you're handing over the reins to Trey Lance and handing over the locker room to Trey Lance, it'll only be a distraction. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and Jimmy G all agree upon that. We've been talking about this for a few days. I'm happy that we are not being shown to be idiots in this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess you think they just eventually had to get over the fact, especially once he probably wasn't going to get traded, is like getting over the fact that there's a good chance if they do release him, he might end up playing against them in the division.
And they're getting nothing for him.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
In this particular case, shoulder.
Because it sounds like they want to do right by him still.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And also, there might be no other option. Every other team knows that they have to cut him, too.
Mm-hmm.
So unless somebody wants to get ahead of the line, like maybe Seattle offers up a fourth rounder, what did Baker go for? Fifth?
Yep.
So maybe a fourth rounder and pick up that $20-some million contract that's already on the books. They can get ahead of anybody else potentially stealing them. But will the Niners trade to the Seahawks? Probably not. Will they take a fourth rounder, though, if nobody else is going to offer anything to the Seahawks, knowing he might end up at the Seahawks anyways? Maybe. That's a dilemma that Lynch is going to have to figure out. But it feels like all roads lead to Jimmy G being a free agent, and then the watch will be on. What future teams who don't have a quarterback need a quarterback? What teams right now have no quarterback? Or will he wait until somebody gets injured and an opportunity presents itself for him to go in, be a guy, and win a role forever? All eyes on the Paisan, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, they must be so confident in Trey Lance if they don't even want the idea of bringing Jimmy back in, right? Like they must believe that if Trey Lance is going to get
they
him
have
back.
to be. They traded 3 first-rounders and moved all the way up to number 3. They're obviously confident in him, but the business of the NFL will not allow them to continue to not have him in there. They traded away the future of the franchise. They took him over who everybody thought Mac Jones was. Mac has already had success. The amount of business that comes into play in politics comes into play for this, I think it was very well understood. And even Jimmy G knew, like, all right, he's got to go. With that being said, publicly, they're all saying very good things about Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And are they saying that to hype him up because they don't believe it and they want to give him a little bit more confidence? Maybe that's what he's lacking, possibly. Or is this dude that dude?
Yeah.
And that's why they traded up to 3 to get him. And Shanahan said, I told y'all motherfuckers I can work with anybody, especially if you give me a freak show athlete that knows next to nothing about football and I can mold him into my guy, which is what Trey Lance is kind of becoming.
Tough question, but what do you think their grand scheme plan was when they traded those? Did they want him to play last year so that they could trade Jimmy and he would still have 2 years left on his contract?
I think their scheme was for him to sit behind Jimmy for a year and then go on and play. I think
Did the
personally.
shoulder fuck them as far as the trades?
Yeah, I think so because that would have been Carolina would have been in the game. There would have been other Colts might have been in the game.
Cleveland before Deshaun.
Cleveland potentially. There's a
Steelers
lot of
probably
teams that are in there. Then the hurt shoulder. Everybody's like, well, we ain't signing a guy that can't play.
Yeah, off of surgery.
Sorry about it, pal. But I like the fact that how everybody's handling it. Very professional. Jimmy might end up getting fucked, but this also does lead to the Deebo Samuel situation, which is being reported about out of 49ers training camp. David Lombardi, at Lombardi himself. Deebo Samuel is at the 49ers facility today. All right, Deebo.
Hey, baby Deebo.
I believe there's another tweet, too. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, who breaks news all the time. 49ers general manager John Lynch tells San Francisco area and Santa Clara area media he's had productive talks with Deebo Samuel's agent, Tory Dondy. And though nothing is imminent, he's hopeful the team will have a new deal to announce in the near future. And I know everybody has said to us and told us we're dumb whenever we link Jimmy G's release and $20 million being freed up to Deebo Samuel's contract, but that just seems too coincidental there.
Oh, yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
It's perfect.
It really does.
Yeah.
Thought the Jimmy G thing would have already been handled, so that would have already been off the books. Probably get the deal done earlier, probably what they're telling Tory Dondy. Who knows what they're going to end up working out. He's at the facility. They think a deal is going to get done. Congrats to Deebo.
Baby Deebo.
Let's continue to bounce around training camp with more news. Lamar Jackson news out of Baltimore. Jamison Hensley is reporting. Lamar Jackson has practiced the past 3 days with the rookie. So, despite the lack of a long-term deal, the expectation is he'll practice for Wednesday's first full team practice. There have been instances where players have not participated in camp due to contract issues. Yes, former CBA, people would hold out. New CBA makes it impossible to hold out or you lose so much money and impossible. So it's becoming a hold in where players would show up at a building and not do a fucking thing and they wouldn't be able to get fined and they would also let the organization know, hey, we ain't happy, we ain't working till we get a little bit of money. I don't want to tear my ACL on that practice field on Wednesday without getting a guaranteed deal that I've definitely earned and other people who are in my position have already gotten. That's why the hold in started. Will Lamar Jackson just be cool with it and just continue to go? Is Lamar Jackson engaged in any contract negotiation at all with the Ravens? Because the only thing we've heard publicly is that the Ravens would make him a deal. He is choosing not to. He represents himself. All eyes on Lamar Jackson. And I'll tell you what, Big Truz, that motherfucker is going to show out, ball out this year. He's got $250 million potentially on the line.
Do you think because of the Dak Prescott situation where he didn't have a long-term deal, got franchise tag, then still got hurt and got that long-term deal almost changes the mindset a little? Because like you got to assume Lamar thinks no matter what, whether he gets hurt week 2.
Yeah, because Dak had a nasty injury.
Nasty,
Still had to pay him.
Yeah, and even last year, I mean, he missed, 1 or 2 games last year because his calf was still kind of sore after the New England game. So it's like, do you think Lamar and some of these guys, no matter what, know, like, hey, I'm going to get a deal and the market's only going up?
Yeah, but did you see what that defense coordinator said about Lamar?
I did, yeah. And we also saw what some coach or evaluator saw in Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
That's right. 53.
Listen, that's why there's a lot of times you'll hear players go, this is the highest level. Oh, okay. Some idiot will say something who has a job in the NFL, and you're like, oh, okay. Let's remember in the future never put any position of power with this guy's name on it. Yep. Fucking idiot. All right, let's move on. There's always going to be that in every profession in the NFL. There is no, exception to that. But let's assume good brains will continue to lead the way. But yeah, that comment about Lamar is interesting because Lamar can do what no other quarterback can do. Correct. So when you're just saying he can't do what maybe 1 or 2 quarterbacks can do in the NFL, probably 2, 3 maybe, guys that just can put a ball on a dot regardless, wherever, at any point in time against any defense. There's only a couple guys that can do that. Probably what? Matty?
Rodgers,
obviously. Mm-hmm. Rodgers, Stafford.
I mean, Russell.
Tom, we'd have to put in there, I guess. Just because it's fucking Tom Brady.
Russ, probably.
Just like
Russell.
any throw.
Josh,
I
mean,
yeah. Well, I thought you were.
No,
I thought he was taking a shot at Lamar there.
Yeah.
No. Josh Allen.
But Josh Allen over the years, he's only gotten better. None of them, with the exception of maybe Josh Allen, who can jump over people, none of them can do what fucking Lamar can. Nobody can do what Lamar can do. So it's, anytime you say that, it's just a hater talking. Mm-hmm. And when a hater's talking, you have to remember, oh, this guy has some ulterior motive here in what they're saying because they're failing to realize the upside while only recognizing the downside. And that's what Lamar is just an anomaly. There ain't no other motherfuckers like him out there.
Right.
Maybe Kyler, I guess, who doesn't even know what's going on in the field.
Sure.
Yeah,
maybe.
And also, I was thinking, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this could be a guy who, like, Lamar maybe didn't have a great passing day against somebody, rushed for like 140 yards and 2 touchdowns and just torched him on the ground. And this guy's
Can't throw.
Yeah, exactly.
Guy can't throw, though. How many yards did he throw for us?
160?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Can't beat us. What, dude? How many did they score? 28? Wasn't enough to win. Yeah, like that type of shit. There's so many football dudes out there that just have meatheads that you can't talk about. I chatted about this yesterday. Retirements pop up around training camp. Now, there's some guys that don't want to go. Some guys that have to pack their bag and move into a dorm or go somewhere, and they think to themselves, all right, I've played 10 years, 11 years, 8 years, whatever it is. I'm okay with not going back, and they retire. I think a couple happened yesterday. Today, an injury caused a retirement. Chris Carson, running back for the Seattle Seahawks, is retiring from the NFL due to a neck injury. Seattle will officially release him with a failed physical designation under the CBA that allows Carson to receive several million in injury protection benefits. Seattle does right by him, reporting Ian Rappaport. Chris Carson won't make a retirement statement just in case his neck dramatically improves, but this is where it stands. In the Seahawks, as they did with Cliff Averill, Cam Chancellor, and others, make sure he gets his money, thus the official designation of failed physical. Okay, so Chris Carson, hell of a career, pal.
Yeah.
The dude ran hard.
Very, very hard.
Ran hard. He was electrifying to watch up there with Russ, but as we continue to look at the Seahawks, a lot of unfamiliar faces taking over the reins there in Seattle, whether it be trade or move on, or in this case, bummed about a neck injury for a running back. Hell of a run, though, for Chris Carson.
Yeah, he was a 7th-round pick, and then pretty much when he was healthy, he was guaranteed a 1,000-yard season, and then that neck, I think, has been like a couple of seasons now where it kept him out.
So congrats to Chris on a hell of a career. It stinks right now.
Yeah.
He'll probably be chasing closure for a long time, if I had to guess. Not that I'm a doctor of philosophy or anything like that, but his football career kind of ended, without his designation, his decision. So he'll probably be chasing closure for a little bit. So maybe that's what they mean with rehab to the neck. Professional wrestling, we've seen this. Numerous people have been ruled out because of neck injuries. And then after like 7, 8, 9 years of technology and rehab and things that have been learned about the neck, they have the ability to clear and come back into work. I don't know if that's ever happened with the NFL because your timeline of your body being able to last good enough and be more as explosive enough to make it in the NFL. We'll have to keep an eye and see there. But what a bummer for Chris, but also in turn, hell of a fucking career, dude. Should be very happy about it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty massive loss for Seattle again. Now that kind of makes them more one-dimensional than they were before.
Say what you said again, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just a massive loss for them, just because he's a very
huge
good
loss.
running back.
And they're not in a rebuild, by the way,
Yeah,
remember?
and they lost Russell Wilson, and now
They
just
should just
have-
trade DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
No, they're going to build around DK Metcalf.
Nope. They should just win 2 games this year, draft a quarterback next year, and just kind of hit the reset button. I know no one wants to hear that. No one wants to do that. But
Well,
that's
Seahawks
just
fans are very understanding.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They'll
That's
get
the
it.
reality of the situation.
Remember we were talking about Russell leaving Seattle?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you guys. You guys only fucking say bad stuff about the Seahawks. Shut up. You don't know Russ. Russ loves Seattle. Yeah, there's no beef between Pete and Russ and Schneider. You saw him on that press conference. He put, hey,
we're
love
friends.
us, guys. Hey, we get along, you fucking assholes, they said. Here we are.
A year later.
Russell Wilson, now the quarterback of the team with the richest owner, the Denver Broncos.
That's right. Pretty sweet.
That's right. That's right. Jerry Jones, speaking about Mike McCarthy, saying how bad of an ass he is. Hey, listen, Mike McCarthy's a fucking great guy. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones starts his press conference with this on Coach Mike McCarthy. I want to be real clear. He wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't believe he was the man to lead this team to the Super Bowl. And I have choices. Y'all seen it. Sean Payton fucking retired.
That's right.
You see it? Everybody hears it. Sean Payton's fucking right there. He already won a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy has as well. He's fucking right here because I believe him. We do see a new and improved Mike McCarthy, though, don't we? Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of weight loss. I told him, hey, listen, if you're going to make it for a full 17 games, you're going to have to fucking get a little healthier, Mike. And Mike said, boom, boom, boom. I'm from Pittsburgh. I want to eat a little sandwich or two. And Jerry's like, if I could have a sandwich after we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mike's in fighting shape. He's all the way back. No COVID distraction. I believe Mike is a big, like, hey, we're a family. So maybe the distances that were put in place by the protocols from COVID slowed it all down. But Mike McCarthy's ready to lead those boys, and Jerry Jones has faith in him.
Did you see what this stemmed from? Because Mike was pissed this morning because the very first question he got today when reporting to training camp was about his job security.
I fucking just got here.
He
we
was
just
mad.
checked in training camp. We haven't even played a game yet. Haven't had practice yet. Fucking running me out of town. Fucking Sean Payton's just sitting in the back of the room. They are.
Goddamn right.
That's interesting. Everybody just assumes Sean Payton's going to be the coach of the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. And last week he said, I can see myself getting back in the game sometime here soon.
That's awesome to think about. As Mike McCarthy just being, I was in my basement. Fucking everybody's coming for my job.
Yeah, both coordinators have been requested to interview for head coaching jobs too this offseason.
They got to go this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good news, Micah still on their football team.
Uh-huh.
And
True.
he's very good at the football. As is Zeke, Dak. I mean, the whole thing. Let's go. Hey, Big Mike, good luck out there.
Good luck, Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Good luck.
Do you get the inclination that he'll get fired if they don't do? I don't think making the playoffs and losing in the first round, they probably would shit can him, right?
Put that Jerry Jones quote back up from the beginning of the press conference. Did you hear what Jerry Jones said? You think they're just going to fire Mike McCarthy? Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy got absolutely hammered drunk. Remember?
They did.
The night that he decided to hire Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones had him over the house. They had some wine. Well, Big Mike can really drink. This guy's drinking the whole water hole out. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says, I want to be real clear. He wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't believe he was the man to lead this team to the Super Bowl. Boom. Clear as day. He ain't firing him.
So if they don't win the Super Bowl, he's probably going to say, you're not the man to lead this team to a Super Bowl.
You think that would happen in the NFL? No.
I mean, Jason Garrett, he felt like he was his son. Does he feel like that with Mike McCarthy?
Well, Jason Garrett lasted, 4 or 5 extra years
Yes.
as
True.
a Cowboy because it was like firing a son. Mike McCarthy, I'm not sure if Jerry Jones thinks he's a member of the family, but he does appreciate his service. Mike McCarthy's going to have to do some shit this year. He's going to have to win a playoff game or two at least to make the whole thing. And that's not easy to do, and the Cowboys have not done that in a long time.
Nope.
So maybe it's unrealistic, but also Jerry Jones has quite a roster together in his mind.
The quote from Mike this morning is, it's irritating that the first question you ask me has nothing to do with how I do my job. I show up every day for work to win a championship. How do we win today? That's what I'm asking. My viewpoint is it's not a story. It's a media-driven narrative, or at least a narrative driven outside my realm.
And then he also finished up with saying, so fuck you.
Yeah.
That's the first question you're going to ask me on this season. This is how this season started, with a local beat writer right there. And then that guy or girl, whoever asked the question, 5 weeks into the season, when Mike doesn't give a good enough answer, we'll be like, Mike's been real standoffish with the media. It's like, well, literally, first question you all gave him was, when are you fucking getting fired?
Yeah.
That's like the Castellanos thing.
Yep.
I assume that's the first question that he has heard, or that person, that interaction they've had, right? I'm sure that's the first time anything like that has happened.
Yeah, probably.
And he finally goes, hey, fuck off. How about that?
Well, Castellanos has a couple, tough moments in MLB history because of the fact that he had a home run and big drive to left field with a certain someone on the call. But, I mean, with Big
I might
Mike,
never do that again.
ever.
You know what he said?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll ever hear me call a game again. I may never put on this headset again.
But he did, except he's calling high school games. So
No, it's not high school. Is it another country?
I think
it was high school.
I think it's high school baseball.
It was
in
like
Ohio.
a Cincinnati high school or something, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought he was calling it another country.
Might be doing
you're
that
right.
too.
Right after it, I do believe he was down in maybe the Dominican or
calling games down there.
Yeah, calling games down there.
I can still see the ball. All right, let's go.
It was the Clemente League in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
there it is.
There it is. Yeah, I knew something was going down with old Bow.
Mm-hmm. How's his Spanish? Is he bilingual?
Hopefully, he kept some words out of it in the translation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That really changed his. Oh, we got a minute left. I was figuring out whether or not we go to the phone. Some people retired yesterday. Danny Amendola retired.
Yeah.
Hell of a run, Danny.
Hey, Danny!
Danny was an absolute legend on the field, a menace. When he was at the Rams, he was a nightmare. Had to play him a couple times. Never took a goddamn knee. I think Tom was his first special teams coordinator in the NFL with the Rams.
Yep.
He was the asshole that put him back there at returner. This motherfucker never took a touchback. I'm going into the game, pretty high touchback percentage. This dude's robbing home runs from the back of the thing, trying to bring it out, and he'd go full speed immediately. Blinders on, trying to kill himself. Became very good at the return game, which obviously opened up some time on the offense. Then he goes to New England, gets in the playoffs, makes massive plays for them, goes on to become a Super Bowl champion. I'm very happy for Danny Amendola, who started as a Hard Knocks story for the Cowboys and ended up as a Super Bowl champion in a decade in the NFL plus.
Yeah, the game-tying 2-point conversion against the Falcons in the 28-3 comeback.
Congrats to Danny Amendola on a hell of a run. I loved everybody after I said thank you and congrats on a run. Go, he's not a Hall of Famer. It's like, neither are you, you fat fuck. Stay out of my comments. Congrats to Danny. Chris Mad Dog Russo's next.
Well done.
Perfect.
Well done.
That is real.
He's not not a Hall of Famer.
He's not that jock.
Not that shut up. You know, I did the guy who what did he call me? He called me Kit Sports.
Oh.
That was gonna be a new thing on my story. He called me, "You're such a fucking loser" or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had time to check out his Twitter. And I said, is this the first time this person's ever said this to anybody? Like, he's been delivered this line a lot.
Mhm.
Not by me. I'm not that type of person. But people have said this to this guy a lot, just by looking at his bio.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
This guy looked like the loser
Mhm.
of losers.
Yeah.
So him quote tweeting it, saying it with a matter of fact, like, I laughed so hard. I think I was on a plane as I was looking. I was crying, laughing so hard, like so proud of this guy. You know what I mean? But then I was like, let's visualize this tweet. So then I take his photo with the little quote box and put it next to it. It got even fun. Like I was crying, laughing at myself because of this guy. So I'd like to thank him. But all these people that say this stuff about people, like, hey, this guy played for fucking 11 years in the NFL, multiple times Super Bowl. He's friends with everybody, very successful. And he, hey, fucking bad football player. What a loser this guy is. Fucking not gonna be a Hall of Famer. And then you look at this person, it's like, you're the biggest sack of shit I think I've ever seen on the internet. Why do you feel comfortable saying anything about anybody that's had any success? And it's because all the bad things have been said to them, so we should feel bad for them. We shouldn't laugh at them.
Sure.
It is funny with like a guy like Danny Amendola though, because he is like a 5'8", 5'9" white guy, like most of those people are. It's like, hey, this guy actually, like he isn't supposed to go in the NFL. He isn't supposed to play 10, 11 years, but he did because he is an exceptional athlete.
This guy you're more relatable to this guy than you are to any guy in the NFL that you don't bury.
Right.
This guy made it from this.
He is you.
He is you, and he made it in there 10 years, multiple time Super Bowl champion. He's a fucking loser. It's like, I don't know if that's the case. And also there was one evening in New Mexico.
That's right.
When me and Danny Amendola almost ended up in Old Mexico. It was a good time. Danny Amendola had a good time. I believe that's part of his legend.
I don't even know if the New Mexico border's the area that you want to go over either.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things that were happening that particular evening that hindsight, clear eyes don't necessarily want to do.
Sure.
I mean, I got on a biker gang guy's bike, motorcycle, 3 a.m., right out of the bar. Oh, I got one of these. Hey, this thing's
major
really
no-no.
nice. What are you? The fuck are you doing? Whoa, nice bike. Nice bike. What are we doing? Get the fuck off my bike. All right.
You got
it. Danny going, he didn't mean, what did you think was going to happen? He's telling, it's a nice bike. Look, it was a nice bike. I just wanted to see it. I thought we were at like a petting zoo. We are not. Sorry, sir. We will get out of here. Thank you, Danny. Let's get out of here. That guy was pretty fucking rude there. You know what I mean? That guy was pretty rude. So I appreciate Danny not getting me. I was just trying to compliment the guy in his bike.
Sure.
Trying to test it out.
It's a fucking nice bike.
Should have asked him to put his cut on too.
Yeah.
Hey,
He already had it.
fucking give me that.
They were sitting. Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna
Why
sit
don't
on
you
your
hand
bike.
that over?
Fucking let me put it on. Try it
Bro,
on.
it had the big
monkey rider?
Yeah, it had the monkey. Monkey.
Has yours been? I know you decided to take a break, but has it been calling you?
Yeah, a couple of days it did. But the roads here in Indiana are too
Can't
bad.
do it.
So bad.
It's like a scratch off whether or not you're going to make it. You know, because if you just so happen to hit one of these potholes,
See ya.
now's not the time for me to be doing that.
No.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I was a little reckless before. I used to get wide open on that thing. I loved it. That was my favorite hobby.
You can ride to the new office, right?
Yeah, pretty good streets there.
Do circles in the parking lot.
I did that the first time I rode a bike because I didn't know how to stop it. So I didn't want to stall. So I just did a full circle.
Pulling into the gas station at a red light. and
Green.
And it turns green. And it's like, I don't need to stall. Boom, here. I don't need to be doing that. Probably shouldn't have been riding either. You know, at that point, I had no idea what I was doing. Just hop on it first time you see it. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, only one way to learn.
It's like riding a bike. All right, let's cover some things that we talked about today, shall we? Veteran players checked in the camp. Love that.
Let's
Aaron,
go.
one day. I didn't see any other. Arrivals.
No, not any good ones. Justin Tucker, they had a 3-second video of him walking in, though.
Wait, he's just dressed up professionally?
Nope, yeah, just normal, just walking in.
Daniel Jones was pretty sweet. He was wearing like a $6.99, $7.99 shirt from Old Navy that, like, if you're
See that? Relatable.
third and fourth grade, you'd probably wear it on like the first day of school. He looked awesome.
Not Reggie picture Wayne?
Maybe picture day. Maybe, you're right.
The T-shirt he had was picture day or first day of school day?
Oh,
Depends on school.
I'd say first day of school because you really want to pop.
Yeah, first day is a big day.
Yeah.
It set the tone for what this year's going.
That's right.
You need a good shirt.
And then photo day is like, oh, we're going to look back on what this year was.
Exactly. That's right.
So he was trying to set the tone as opposed to look back on.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Wayne arrived in a scooter, I believe, after years and years of making legendary and memorable training camp arrivals with metaphors and meanings behind them. This time he just hopped on a bird, showed up. This is Coach Wayne.
That's right.
Nice. Coach Wayne, the wide receiver room. He's going to get the most out of the boys. He's going to have to because Michael Strahan, one of the wide receivers, he's already hurt and he's out.
Really? Jesus Christ.
In a position that a lot of us have questioned publicly for the Indianapolis Colts, the wide receiver room, one of the guys who we all thought could potentially be a star. If you're not from Indianapolis, you do not know who this guy is. He has been a training camp darling the last 2 years. And then he gets in some games and he's a guy.
Yeah.
He can stretch the field. He's big body. Seems to be a great diamond in the rough type find for Chris Ballard. Just for some one reason or not, can't stay on the field. Starts the training camp off the field, which is not great news. Coach Wayne will get the most out of the boys. Alec Pierce will get more reps, the rookie out of Cincinnati.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Pittman Jr. will be able to do his thing. I'm excited for the Colts to get started. I'm excited to see what type of Coach Wayne is because the videos and the mic'd up seem like he's going to be a fucking good one.
Yeah, and also I feel like Matt Ryan, more than some quarterbacks, uses their tight end so much, and Mo Alley Cox is an absolute dog.
Mo Alley Cox, and then I guess there's
another guy.
Ogletree, maybe? Is that a tight end from?
Alec Ogletree was a linebacker.
No, ain't not Ogletree.
No, it might be.
I think they got 2 rookie tight ends too. That
really
sources in the building have told me, big motherfuckers.
Nice.
Okay, these big dudes, these tight ends that they got.
Andrew Ogletree.
Ogletree. There it is. He's tight end.
Rookie.
Where's he from?
Youngstown State.
Here we go. Let's go Penguins. He's a
Tough
big,
son of a bitch.
I guess he's a big body. Yeah, I guess this guy's big body and obviously tough. And there's some other tight end too. So there's a lot of confidence in the tight end room for the Indianapolis Colts, which is big for Matt Ryan. But we need a wide out. And Pierce will do his thing. Pittman will do his thing. Jonathan Taylor's still there. You know, we're good. We're good. Colts are good. Colts are
Question. You would think these new school dudes, we've only seen Aaron really with like a themed show up today, and he's an old school dude. You'd think the new school dudes would be into it, but it feels like it's falling off.
Yeah, well, you got to put in the contracts you watch film.
Yeah,
you know, so
There you go.
it's just a new day. Nobody wants to motivate the boys in a dramatic fashion when showing up to training camp. Nobody wants to break the monotony and the scare and the fear that people have going in training camp. This is the new school versus old school.
AB would have showed up in something sweet. I miss him already.
Well,
AB's about to be the biggest artist in the world. I just read his
right.
caption.
do you dance, AB? Do you dance?
Play that shit.
Play that shit. Play that shit.
Play that shit.
Play that
And
shit.
his dance is sick.
It's this, right?
Hey, I haven't seen an NFL guy perform a Rolling Loud ever.
True.
No.
So I'm fucking pumped for him.
Yeah, first. he is
Some
the
people are
first.
burying it. I didn't think it was that bad.
No.
No,
No,
not
it was
at all.
electric.
Pretty good performance.
Legit.
Yeah.
Is that 10 times better than we thought Antonio Brown's potential performance was going to be, right?
Definitely better than the one that we saw where he was like up in like a tower and there was 20, 25 people just not even looking.
And they were
at him.
throwing money, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I
played the
remember.
wrong song, but it was good.
Well, he played a bunch of songs.
Well,
That was
He
just
played a
one.
whole lot of money.
they did, and he did play. Just got back from the NO.
I just got back
from
from
the
the NO. Antonio Brown seems to be very focused on his rap career. His caption said he wants to be one of the biggest artists in the world or biggest artist in the world. And I believe he will attempt to do as such. I believe he's with Yeezy still.
Yeah, and isn't he still the president of Dahn Sports?
And he makes bangers. I mean, what are we even talking about? AB's out there doing his thing at Rolling Loud.
Still miss him.
You know, week 10, week 11. Mike Tomlin gives a call. Hey, AB, we need you.
I don't know if it's gonna be.
Yeah,
You heard Tomlin say it. Is it AB ain't coming back?
What are you talking about?
Tomlin said it. He was
Oh, maybe
on-
Tom Brady then. Week 11, week 12.
Maybe Tom Brady. And what if Ben Roethlisberger comes back to the Steelers
No one
and
needs
he
to-
calls
there's
AB?
no reason to be sad.
Yeah.
That was a wild time to be alive.
Oh, my God.
AB's in the back of Danny Boy Hustle Hard's Yukon.
Tell him, Cheech.
Talk to him.
He was stuck in New York.
Cutting cameos.
Yeah.
Cutting cameos like 10 while the game's still happening.
Yeah.
Cutting it's going to be my new business. I'm going to do this. Goes right to the studio.
Yep.
Shuts down the internet for like 2 weeks.
Was he in that Instagram video with like Kanye, Madonna, and
Madonna?
like
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
It was like the most awkward. He just wearing fingerless gloves in there. That was wild.
Antonio Brown took over the world there for a while,
He
and
did.
now he's only going to keep going.
I know you're sad about Big Ben Roethlisberger, but it might not be over for Ben.
Which we don't know, right?
Oh. universally, incling Big Ben, I think everyone knew, hey, this is it for me. And AP
Nah, what did Ben say, though, into a
Ben
microphone?
said he could fucking still sling it.
Ben is going to hold that over the NFL
Now-
for the next 5-6 years.
He won that
In classic Ben fashion, 0% surprised, and would have been disappointed if he didn't say that right before training camp.
True, very true. That's very, very true. Ben still got it. Just like I would put out a video of me kicking a ball, right?
Exactly.
Stir the pot a little bit.
Why not?
By the way, there's only a couple of those videos I have saved on my phone. I'm probably not making any new ones. So keep an eye out for a reused kicking video from me. Just stir the pot a little bit.
Ben could also be looking at the Browns and say, hey, Deshaun might not play. I might fucking come back, play in Cleveland, and fucking
That's his home
avenge
state.
Pittsburgh, play for my home state.
Listen, just 'cause he owns
and
that
avenge
stadium.
these guys for fucking kicking me out of town.
Why not?
They didn't kick him out.
Ben Roethlisberger for the Cleveland Browns.
Can you imagine?
Big Brown
Storybook
Ben
ending.
Roethlisberger.
What's this? This is the video from Antonio Brown? Let's see, just really dug deep for this one. Go ahead, Zito. Good find, pal.
I know you sad about Ben Roethlisberger retiring, but it's not over for Ben yet. I know everyone's wondering, is it his last game in Pittsburgh tonight, and would it end like this? But it may not end like this. I know Ben, he's a competitor. He loved to play football, one of the greatest quarterback all time, and I just don't see him hanging it up. So, Patrick, you and all other Steelers fans who looking to think Big Ben is playing his last game in Huntsville, I wouldn't tip my hat on that yet. I wouldn't bet on that yet because Big Ben has a lot of football yet left, and he didn't say that his career was over. He didn't say that it was his last game in Huntsville. So we can't speculate and recollect upon him not playing anymore. So let's be positive. Let's cheer him on.
Fucking
Let's
right.
wish for one of his best games tonight.
Let's go.
And let's keep business booming.
Hey, let's
Boom.
go. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
But you're playing yourself, though, if you think Big Ben Roethlisberger is playing for any other organization.
No, that's Antonio said that about Antonio. He didn't say that about Ben Roethlisberger.
Right. Well, that was right before U School, right?
Yeah,
because
U-School.
didn't that come out right?
I
after
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it's right around that time.
What?
U School?
Ian?
He was DMing with that lady.
I forgot all about that.
Come on.
It was right before that.
Come on.
I don't remember that.
We did a full show on how you could sneak someone up to your room.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
through the...
Uh-huh.
This show's the worst. Let's go to the phones. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go to Rick in San Antonio. Rick in San Antonio, home of the San Antonio XFL team now. What do you want to talk about, Rick, on the 5Energy phone line? Go to 5Energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order of any of the delicious tropical and fruit burst flavors that 5Energy has to get you from A to B. A being... B being, woo! Let's go! Love 5Energy, and the flavors are incredible. Go to 5Energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. What's going on, Rick in San Antonio?
Hey, Pat, gentlemen, how y'all guys doing today?
Hey, we're doing, keep it good.
Keep it
Good.
going.
It's good. Thank you, Rick.
Keep it
Appreciate you.
Hey, I wanted to, unfortunately, AJ Hawk is off online right now, but I wanted to get his thoughts, and then also I can get Ty Schmidt's thoughts as well on what it was like when Brett Favre returned to Lambeau as a Minnesota Viking. The energy, obviously AJ's not here, he can't talk about it, but Ty can, I figure, as a lifetime fan, seeing his childhood hero return, what that was all like.
Hey, Rick, I'm going to need you. Fuck, never mind. I was going to need you to hang up on yourself there, but I can do it now. Did you guys puke when old Brett was a Minnesota Viking making throws across his body and everything like that? Or was the goodbye from Brett a pretty, salty situation because he'd been holding Aaron back and how it all ended?
Yeah, there's just the constant will they, won't they. It's like 1 week Favre doesn't want to play anymore, and then the next week it's like, well, I might actually come back. I'm kind of missing this. But yeah, once Rodgers got in there and you actually saw him play, it was like, all right, fuck it, we'll just do this. And granted, the Vikings, they went to the NFC Championship that first year with Favre and beat the Packers. Yeah, and beat the Packers twice, I think. So that kind of sucked, but in the end, it was, kill the head and the body will die.
Yeah, kill the head, yeah.
Right. But yeah, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so it was like, all right, well.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy how you guys just piss on the grave of Brett Favre. Even Patriots fans are like, happy Tom's doing well, right?
Well, some. Yeah, that is a very fine line. I wouldn't.
He didn't go to their biggest rival though.
Yeah, like if he went
Tom
to-
didn't turn around and go play for the Jets or the Bills or something.
Yeah,
like
if
that.
he went
It's
to Miami and was
he
a
stayed
part
in the
owner.
fucking division and went to the Vikings.
So he tried to go to Miami, become part owner in the division.
Flores said, "I'm not taking that fucking meeting on your yacht." To the owner.
When Tom does that, you guys hate him forever?
If he goes to Miami, I mean, look, I'm someone who does not like Tom Brady until he retires, obviously. But
Which
if
he already
went
did.
to-
You liked him for a couple of days.
Yeah,
Was it like 8-10 days?
Yeah, I think it was like just about 8 to 10 days. I actually had to take down the newspapers of him.
Don't
winning
you
the
have a
Super Bowl.
Tampa Tom Brady jersey?
I don't. I should order one though, maybe when he retires. But
You don't have one.
no.
So what's the deal with you guys just not having any respect for these guys who have brought you so much happiness through your life? You with Brett Favre?
No, I love Favre.
And you. All those fucking parades
Uh-huh.
every other year you were going
Sure.
to through your childhood. You don't even give a damn spit. Get out of here, Tom. We don't like you.
Well, it's a team game. You know, there's 22 people usually, and that's not even including special teams. The Patriots have brought me a lot of happiness. Sure, Tom was the leader, but Bill Belichick was my captain. He was the guy steering the ship, and he's the guy that is still steering the ship. So, yeah, there were some people that jumped ship, perhaps, onto that pirate boat, those motherfuckers down in Tampa Bay, who, you know, we talk about Bill Belichick and
Jeez.
Tom Brady hating ourselves. When are we going to talk about BA and Tom Brady, huh?
What?
Guess what?
Whoa.
Guess what? One
Whoa.
guy retired, one guy kept
Hell yeah.
going,
Hell yeah.
one guy came back, one guy got fired. And who the hell was that,
Fine,
huh?
and he retired.
Sure, yeah.
He stepped away.
He's giving press conferences at the combine about
said.
rebuilding the team. And then all of a sudden, the quarterback, the leader, the guy that made Tampa Bay a real franchise
wrong.
comes back.
You're wrong.
Okay, I'm just saying.
You're wrong.
If this was Brady and Belichick, we'd be talking about this every goddamn day. But it's BA
Bruce
and
still
Brady.
in the building. Bruce still in the building.
Oh, is he in the building?
That's what they say. He's a consultant. He's around.
Yeah, for
When
sure.
Tom lets him be.
I'm sure he's
Whoa,
around all
don't
the
you
time.
jump in on this wearing your salmon.
It's real.
This is box throwback colors, okay?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We don't need you hopping on this whole train.
We
BA
know.
was rebuilding the team because he didn't want to hand over a bad team to his boys.
Oh, yeah, he's very honorable.
And then when Tom Brady came back, he said, all right,
Now
you
it's
guys
time.
can take this team.
Yeah, no point for me to even be here because it's not even my offense and I don't call plays anymore. So we'll just, let Tom do it.
Quarterback hates my guts.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Well, it feels like exactly what happened, actually.
What's crazy?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Let's go to the fronts. It's unbelievable. You just deflected one all the way around the ship to bring that up.
Look, I think it's unbelievable that he was able to go to somewhere else, pick the team with the best wide receiver core, bring his, one of the greatest tight ends out of all time back to the
You see
team,
the defense
and
on
then
that team,
go.
too?
What's
Yeah,
this
one of
guy's-
the best defenses. I mean, they went 7-9, and their quarterback threw 30 picks, and then Brady came in.
30.
Unbelievable.
I think he threw 50.
I think it is more impressive that BA lasted with Brady for 2 whole years. Because I don't think many quarterbacks many coaches could, meet his competition levels. And I think that's why when you look back at the Patriots dynasty, it will always be couldn't have happened unless you have both.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about you guys being not thankful at all. For it.
Honestly,
Like that little
I
sign
don't even-
fucking kid. That little sign kid that was just
Uh-huh.
what? Is he saying thank you to Tom Brady every single night whenever he says his prayers?
That kid's a fucking sellout. But I
What? What's wrong with that kid?
I
What is your
assume
deal?
I assume just looking at that kid, I assume he jumped ship to Tampa Bay. But
Oh no! Sign kid.
where we ended up in this conversation, I didn't even know how it started because we just dove right into Tampa and Tom.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ryan in Chicago. Ryan, new dome on the field. Here we go. What do you want to talk about?
Hello, Pat, boys. How you doing?
Keep moving. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. I want to talk about last week. You guys were talking about the Champions League. No, not the Champions. My bad. The NFL coming to going to Europe and how it's going to Germany and London this season for a couple games. And now last season for Champions League, they're actually talks about coming to the U.S. for a final, but both parties were a little bit shaky because of the fan bases and them thinking it was not right with the fans. I want to get your opinion on it.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
That dome.
How did that happen? Can we pull that up? Can we
This
clip
thing
that
landed,
and pull that
This
up?
thing landed. There's a little
What?
hole in this thing. Yeah, it landed right in the middle of it. Obviously, I did that on purpose.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that needs to. Can we? Is there a replay we can throw it back to?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
I mean,
that's absurd.
There's only one ball that fits in this thing, right? So,
Yeah, what are the odds here?
It's got to land flush.
Yeah, that's lethal shooter with the nail rim.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Huh?
Couldn't even hear a word that guy was saying.
No. The answer to whatever he was saying was, who cares?
That is so rude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was listening. I missed you doing that.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what he was saying.
Man, that was pretty good.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, we have a replay. Let's bring it
Yeah,
down here.
here we
We
go.
actually saw it happen. This is during Ryan from Chicago's question. Pretty good balance, pretty good juggle. I start getting a little bored. The ADD starts kicking in. I'm going to go high with this thing. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'll start bashing. Yep. Boom. Boom.
In the bucket.
It's
unbelievable.
I was very, very excited for that. Yeah. I'll never do it again. I think that's the show.
Yes. Good way to end it.
I think that's the show. Ryan, thank you for your question. I think he was talking about fans, soccer fans versus NFL fans, and then mixing. I think everybody loves good hooligan, but people being there's different cities that appreciate it, different cities that don't. I think everybody in Europe is wild. I think only some cities in America are wild. It's just two different conditioned fan bases. So I don't think that's even a conversation for why people would not do business in places.
He was asking, you know how we said that there could be a Super Bowl in
London?
England? Yeah, he was saying there's rumors that the Champions League final could be in the U.S. But would that work?
Well, we need a team. But once they start
That's
letting the
what he was
MLS
saying.
in the Champions League.
Minnesota United. They just beat Everton 4-0.
Tell you what, Toronto's got a couple of Toronto FC's got a couple of Italian kids in the MLS that are just absolutely dominating.
Listen, Albertini doesn't have a chance because think about Messi going to Miami FC.
Right. Inter Miami.
That Miami FC squad is going to be a team.
Yeah. You think they're going to do the Champions League without Messi? Wrong lisp. You think they're going to do that without Messi in the league?
You got multiple
You're
lists.
crazy.
Bro, we are the worst sports show of all time. You hear me? Ryan, he plotted that call.
Oh, yeah.
Thought it out. He's done more research than we've ever done on the
sure.
topic, and we can't even give him a good answer. Whatever the case, stop being a bunch of fucking pussycat, soft-ass bitches over there. If
Yeah.
it's the world's game, let Inter Miami FC into the Champions League.
Yeah.
But Chelsea got to experience it. Christian Pulisic was the only one that scored a goal.
Yeah. Right.
The American was the only one that scored a goal. You're welcome. The American scored a goal for you. It's different over here, where the way we play soccer. And you all are going to experience that in Qatar when we fucking win the soccer Lombardi.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Who won the concave this year?
Our women and our men.
Okay, so what's that mean?
Yeah, put us in the Europes, dude.
Yeah.
Put us in the Europes. I understand we're not in the Europe as a geographical description, but if you really want the Europes to matter, why don't you let the concave for champions come fucking run a little pain train on all you?
Speaking of the Europes, I thought it was a little funny. The English women are in the semifinals for the Europes today.
Have you heard Gump say
I
anything?
haven't. I haven't.
Because I actually called him.
no.
I said,
Whoa.
"It's coming home.
Does
It's
he not-
coming home."
Does he not care about the women?
Yeah, they're. By the way, we've been watching the Europes, the women's soccer. That's
pretty good.
I don't know how our American women win. Honestly, we beat all of them.
Yeah.
And there's like a 35-yard rocket from the German.
Yeah, laser.
Laser.
Yeah.
Like, it is. That's a sport that I think there isn't. You know, it's fucking very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very, very entertaining.
If I know anything about Gump,
All right. Let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about Mayor Lightfoot, who is obviously a fan favorite around Chicago for all of the decisions that she has made throughout her entire.
Boo that lady!
Now, well, it does feel like all parties are saying the same thing about Mayor Lightfoot for one reason or another. Her most recent venture into, nobody likes my ideas, is she painted Soldier Field with a SoFi-like stadium roof over top of it. And although the SoFi Stadium is kind of game changing because it's not actually a dome because there's separation between the ceiling, the roof, and the stadium itself. Thus why there was a delay when there was lightning in the area. Yep. Everybody asked, well, how is there a lightning delay when it's a dome? They're like, well, actually, they just put the roof over top of it kind of like a shade in the stadium as itself. Mayor Lightfoot presented the same type of thing. Would add suites in there, would add a glass roof. to Soldier Field, and also a side for wind to come in. Mayor Lightfoot actually put out a stadium that could potentially be a magnifying glass on the roof for sun.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then a wind tunnel through the side in Chicago, which is it. And it looks cool. You can add a bunch of suites. That might be the most miserable place to play football at in the history of football. Because it's like you're in a tanning bed in which they have a fan on. It's going to be hot as fuck with that glass roof. Obviously coming through there. And if they're able to keep the temperature warm, the sun will radiate through. Everybody's been inside of a fucking car where the sun comes through the sunroof. And then the wind tunnel off the side there of Chicago, very windy. That would be a nightmare, but might get a Super Bowl there.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. If you had a renovation of $200 million to the stadium, will the NFL go ahead and say that's enough to warrant a Super Bowl in the city? I believe it's a $2 billion addition to the stadium. So could build a new one. Instead, just add this onto it. Maybe keep Soldier Field in Chicago, as opposed to what the Bears are planning on doing, which move the Bears to Arlington down the road.
Just paying $86 million and then the other $3 billion after that. Or whatever.
How do you feel about Soldier Field having a roof? Me, love it. If they could shut that window, strictly from a punter kicker mindset. But on the flip side, that doesn't feel like that would do much better for anything.
Sucks.
A glass ceiling is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Because snow's sitting on that. Everybody inside is just assuming it's coming through.
Was that Minnesota?
Yeah, it happened at the Metrodome, yeah.
Oh, God.
We'd assume the architects and engineers would be able to figure out for that roof not to crack or give, but when the sun is cracking down on that thing and that glass is just cooking it even more.
It's foolish.
It would be so hot in there.
Oh, my God.
So
That'd be
she
amazing.
she did propose this, but the team still said that they are focused on the Arlington Heights project, and the NFL wants them to move to Arlington Heights too.
Hey, Mayor Lightfoot,
So,
real cute design here. What is this from? Chip and Joanna Gaines, their 3D graphic of HGTV. We actually just got $86 million worth of land where we can build. Are you putting a casino on that as well? And hotels and a plaza for all the shopping on there? Or are you just putting a roof on and some more suites? Oh, okay. We're going to go to fucking Arlington then where we can build up Chicago Bearland, where we get all the money, basically.
More suites.
More suites. More stores,
Yes.
more restaurants, more hotels, more casinos, where every dollar flows into the NFL as opposed to whatever you're thinking up there on the Gold Coast.
Also, I believe the name is now the Chicago Dome if they do this, and it's no longer Soldier Field. Do you think people are going to love that?
Chicago Dome.
In that first picture, boom, right at the top, Chicago Dome. Says
At
it on
Soldier
there.
Field?
No, you can't have that, though. It's not Soldier Field anymore.
Soldier
then.
Field will be in the Chicago Dome.
Right. And people will just start referring to, hey, you're playing the Chicago Dome this weekend.
To be clear, I am a big Dome fan.
Yeah.
But can't have Dome be magnifying glass for sun. Can't have wind tunnel off one side.
Foolish.
Which makes it a miserable place. Has to make it better suited for kicking balls. That's all I'm thinking about.
So what I do want us to do, so that one graphic here, it actually says there's 3 options. One is fully closed. Option 2 was that one that was partly open. And then option 3, I didn't read it, but it's right there.
Pull that picture back up. You can't close the window, though, because there's people in suites right here.
So that was just option 2. So they would just rebuild both end zones, and then it would go up like that. And then option 1 to fully close it.
Okay, nice. So the window would be on the outside of these suites that we're seeing right here.
There would be no window there. So this is option 2 rendering.
Is that how Lucas Oil is?
Yeah, it's got a window that you can shut, though. This can shut or can't shut, Zito? I don't know what you're saying.
So, like, this photo is just option 2 of what she brought up. So, like, that would be through with the end zones. They would build up, and then that's, like, how you get that structure to hold the dome. And that's why it's open.
Okay.
Option 1 is to fully redo the whole dome, so it's fully enclosed.
Put me on option 1, Mayor Lightfoot. I don't know if she's taking votes. Is she taking votes? Is Mayor Lightfoot listening to anything we're saying?
I think option 4 is get the fuck out of the city and move to Arlington.
She's not putting that option.
No, she's not. But I think
They
that's
added. They're like D.
Yeah,
actually.
that's what they're taking.
Number 3 is just to modify it so soccer could play there.
Soccer can't play there after they leave to Arlington.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at like a stadium like the fucking one in Vegas, I forget, the Allegiant Stadium, like that one is so nice. Why wouldn't you want that for your own city and with all those other amenities that you just said?
SoFi.
Yes.
Allegiant.
Acrisure.
No, it didn't.
No. Jerry World.
I don't think Acrisure. I don't think Steelers. I don't know if Rooney owns any of those bars around. I know Jerome Bettis does.
JB 36.
36 Grill is worth it.
Yeah. Did it close? Is it still open?
Yeah.
Closed.
What?
Yeah, JB 36 accidentally closed.
Wait, the buses?
Unfortunately, did not survive.
What happened?
Oh, the wheels on the bus went
round and round,
round and round. Until they didn't. Everybody was going over the rivers. They weren't going to Jerome Bettis' Bar and Grill. So, hey, if I'm going to lose a quick $50, I'm at least going to gamble it as opposed to eat these provolone sticks.
They added a lot of restaurants in that area. And fortunately, JB36's food, it was all right.
It was bad food.
Bussy.
Nobody told Jerome this, but it was not good.
Was he the head chef?
Well, his name's on the fucking thing. Bill Belichick said I'm the head coach, so I handle it all.
They did have a cool feature where it was one-way glass, two-way glass.
From the bathroom.
Yeah, when you're taking a piss at the urinal, you could see out into the restaurant.
Oh, that's
They
awesome.
couldn't see you. They couldn't see your penis.
That's kind of weird
well,
now.
The glass was above where your penis would be, too.
True.
They didn't test the glass, like, all the way down to the
What if you pee upside down?
Well, then you shouldn't be in public.
Any weirdos probably maybe make their way into there if I had to guess?
Into the bathroom?
Yeah.
You think they're
Any bathroom in public? Yeah.
Bopping, looking through the window? Probably.
It'd be tough to bop and wear the way they had that set up. But yeah, weirdos make their way to the bathroom.
If it was a stall situation, maybe, but it was urinals, so.
Maybe putting just like your butt cheeks up against the two-way window.
Oh, no one
Yeah.
can see it. Be tough. It's a little elevated. I think the way Diggs painted the picture for dramatic effect and comedic effect, vastly different than what it is. It's chest up, up there.
Okay.
So I don't know how you're going to get your cheeks up there, to be honest, unless you're
Stand on the
Shaq.
countertop.
Shaq. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on me. Normal
Stand on your
wall
buddy's
till-
back?
Till about this height.
Normal wall, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to one last phone call here. We should have a moment of silence, I guess, for
JB36.
Jerome Bettis Grill. Man. I went to a couple times. I got sick from the food every time.
Oh, good Lord.
But the vibes were high and the pisses were fun.
What?
Because you didn't have to leave the party in the bar whenever you were paying. You could still see them from afar. That food was pretty shit, though. But who cares? You're supporting the bus. And Bussy supported a lot of good times that you had. Remember when he was playing running back at 280?
What?
Skirting around.
What?
Scoring touchdowns every single time they touched the goal line
What?
formation. Except for that one time where Ben Roethlisberger had to make a tackle.
Save the season.
But then he won a Super Bowl in his hometown in Detroit. Yeah, he did. That's because the wheels on the bus went
Round and round.
round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus went round and round, and the sound around the bus was good on you, bus.
Good on you. Thank you, Bus.
Thank you, Bussy.
Here's a picture of the one-way mirrored urinal there.
Ooh.
Obviously, we can see that.
Yeah. It just looks like an open bar.
Yeah. Can't
Open
see
bar
anything.
area.
Probably TV's not good enough. That's on us.
Oh, you can't see the urinal there?
I mean,
Oh,
kind
sorry.
of, but wait.
Oh, yeah, it's a little dark.
Yeah, with the lights. Yeah, it's tough to see, but everybody at home saw. You saw
that's
that.
right.
That's what it was right there.
So that's a mirror?
One-way mirror.
You can see through.
They can't see you.
They used to have that at Rudy Subs and Pizza 286.
Really?
How can I help you? Yeah, one-way mirror to the back.
And it's kind of like interrogation room.
Boom. Larry Hall.
Boom. You caught up? You watch episode 4?
Yes. What do you think this is? I ain't no amateur, dude.
I am. So I just watched it. Unbelievable.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, we're really getting there.
We are. It's a good series.
It's so good.
I really enjoy it. And that handsome son of a bitch is going to be James Bond.
Yeah, Taron Edgerton. And, I mean, Paul Walter Hauser is so good as
Top 5
Larry Hall.
generation.
He really is. He's like a super duper good actor. What's
He's
his name?
all
again?
range.
Paul Walter Hauser.
He's.
He was a accused terrorist.
Yes.
There's a bomb.
Crushed it.
Right.
He was. What's the angle?
What's the angle?
What's the angle?
Right.
Crushed it.
Cruella.
In this one, honestly, amazing job as a serial killer who's incredibly creepy.
Yeah, plays the role perfectly. It's unbelievable.
Great burn sides on him, too.
Great burn
I wonder if he
sides.
grew those himself.
Great burn sides.
I mean, the pauses, like that's the way he's. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Don't spoil.
Indiana does not look good in that.
No.
Indiana does not look good in that.
Illinois looks good, though.
Multiple.
Illinois looks very good, even though Illinois was the place where.
Actual home of John Wayne Gacy, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Let's go to the phone.
And Larry Hall.
Let's go to Dan in Maine. Dan, what's going on, pal?
What's up, dude?
What's up, bro? How's Maine? You guys got sun right now, right? Winter comes soon?
Yeah, we got some pretty good heat going on right now.
Hell yeah.
You live in Maine full time?
Full time.
Yikes.
How many months of cold ass gray?
Like 9 months.
and it's 76 degrees, partly sunny today or partly cloudy today. It seems like a perfect day in Maine. We appreciate you taking time to call in, pal. You get the lobsters or the crab? What is it, Maine?
Lobsters.
Lobsters? You in the lobster business?
No, I'm not in the lobster business. I'm actually painting submarines.
Oh,
beast.
You know, submarines are initially called U-boats.
Yeah.
Were brought in to kind of change the entire world war. Now we got my guy Dan in Maine painting them. Whose subs are these? Are these Epstein subs?
Nah, U.S. Navy.
Hell yeah.
Hey, let's paint those things. Let's shine those sons of bitches up nice, huh, Dan?
Well, hey, we make them look good.
That's what I'm talking about, Dan. We wouldn't want anybody else to do it but you. What do you want to talk about, Dan?
Hey, so SummerSlam, are we going to see AJ Hawk backing you up when you beat bum-ass Corman?
Oh, good call, Dan. Thank you for the question. AJ's got 100 kids. I think it's going to be difficult to get him settled in one place for a weekend.
He'll probably be rooting for Corbin, too, because he's a scumbag.
Yeah. Plus, when he's there.
Yeah, true.
You lost when he was there last time, so.
True.
Bad omen.
Yeah, and I got attacked, and he just stood there.
Didn't
do a goddamn thing.
He's got bad knees, so like I think I'd have to give him a heads up if he's going to do anything physical. He's going to have to do a little 30, 45 minutes sesh.
Yeah, get some CBD.
I'm letting AJ know, don't you worry about it. I got this bum all by myself. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Peacock, SummerSlam in Nashville, Tennessee, Nissan Stadium. I guess I've lost there one time.
Ah.
I guess I've lost there one time.
Yeah, it'll be the only time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I have a fake punt in there. I have an onside kick in there. I have a tackle, I believe, in there.
What?
A lot of history in that stadium. Those fans are awesome, though.
Yeah, they are.
And SummerSlam is going to be electrifying.
Oh, hell
I can't
yeah.
wait for it Saturday night, just like I can't wait to get back on this microphone tomorrow morning with more stories out of NFL training camps, more conversations, more guests, and hopefully more laughs.
Yeah.
See you all in about 20 hours and 27 minutes and 30 seconds. You all are the best humans on earth. Oh, so giveaway.
Okay.
Hashtag PMS training camp.
Yes.
Yep.
PMS training camp. Take a screenshot right meow. Oh, yeah. Dang it. Put your hashtag in there and give a motivational speech to somebody that's going to training camp.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah, somebody that's on the team, at them on the team, and screenshot that, put your hashtag in there, and send them some motivational words, because there's going to come times over the next few weeks where a lot of guys that we have a lot of respect for are going to question what they do for a living. That's what training camp is. But these are the seeds that need to be sowed if you're going to blossom into a Lombardi winning fucking squad. Who's going to make it? Who's not going to make it? Maybe your motivational speech will put some people over the hump. Once again, it's hashtag PMS training camp, your hashtag name in there, then a motivational speech to somebody that just checked in training camp in the NFL, letting them know it's all going to be okay and you can't thank them enough for their hard work to go win a goddamn Lombardi. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with AJ Hawk. Maybe not. See you then. Goodbye. Great work, everybody. I appreciate the hell out of you. See ya.